Hey guys, welcome back to Rockford Ordnance, The Rock. I am Chris, your host, and we are going to have a ton of fun tonight. See, we got a bunch of people in here already. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late, but duty calls sometimes. It's been 100 degrees damn near here today, and got to get the lawn mowed sometime between all the rain and then heat. Got to get everyday jobs done, right? So that's what we were doing. But we're here. We're ready to go. Sorry we missed you last week. And the week before was kind of interesting, huh? We did it live from the Rock Ram. Again, more family stuff going on, which is good, right? We did a little boating last week. I'm repping today, got the Ranger shirt on, and I can happily report that we christened the boat with, well, let's see, even before I left the pier, got a ginormous crappie, literally dinner plate size. Then we got a smallmouth, and I was wondering where the hell all the walleyes went. Well, last Thursday night, we got on some walleye and had a nice evening of catching walleye. So that was cool. And I almost was going to do a rock ram today, but decided not to. Figured that was probably a little rough. I haven't even went back and looked at it to see if we were cutting in and out or whatnot, but seemed like we were losing you here and there. I hope it was good. It seemed like a lot of you guys hung in, so that's cool. What are we going to talk about tonight? We are going to talk about AKs. We are going to talk about the upcoming assault weapon ban, which, guys, if you think this is just another threat by the left, you're gravely mistaken. This one is scary. It's got a better chance of passing than just about anything we've seen in recent history. It's very scary. I'm just going to say before we really get into it that it's much easier to fight it now than it is to fight it in the courts later. On its face, it's unconstitutional based off recent rulings by the Supreme Court, which everyone's looking on as great wins for us. Yes, they are. Doesn't matter. They don't care. They will vote in an unconstitutional law and let us fight it for the next 10 years or 20 years or God knows, or maybe it never goes away. So it's easier to fight it now up front by calling your state representatives, your senators. Keep one thing in mind. This thing's going to pass the House, no problem. And the only thing holding it back in the Senate is the filibuster. And by the looks of, recent the red flag laws that passed and everything, there's Republicans voting on their side. It could fall. Everything could fall by the end of the month. The end of, I guess it'd be, might be by the end of this month. So it's scary, guys. Very, very scary. We'll get into that. But I wanted to bring up a subject that'll, in a way, be kind of fun, in a way, really sad. But let's say this thing is coming, right? And you want to get some things in under the wire, right? Well, what AK would you buy if you could only buy one and get one in under the wire? What would it be? Or would it be that? Would it be some other assault weapon? A lot of channels care about that. Well, you shouldn't. They're not assault weapons. Guys, who cares what they call them? They are what they are. They're our right, our God-given right, not given to us by the Constitution, given to us by our Creator. And they just confirm that, let's say, or what's the word I'm looking for? They just expound upon that, right? Anyhow, let's talk about guns. So what have you guys seen with the coming of this possible ban? What have you guys seen going on in the local shop line, stuff like that? I haven't had much time to get out there to see what's going on. Are things running short already? Is there stuff still on the shelves? I assume so. Um, but who knows? I know a lot of people have been calling me saying, hey, what would you get? What should I get? What can I get? Is this a good price? Have you seen prices go up? Um, Say them in the comments here and we'll talk about it. As always, guys, for some of you that may be new, if you have a question, a comment, something you want answered, something you want to talk about, put it in the comments. We'll answer your questions. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. That's what this channel is here for. We let you guys make up the content of these live streams, essentially. I may give it an idea, a kickoff, a thought, a this or that, but we go with what you guys want to talk about. There's a lot of regulars in here. We have a blast. We've gotten to know each other over the years, I guess it is years, right? And it's a lot of fun. Everybody's friendly. Nobody will pick on you. Question's a question. No questions are dumb. If you need to know something, ask. Someone here knows it. There's people in here that like AKs, people that like ARs, people that like Tavors, HKs, you name it. They're here. And expensive guns, cheap guns, you name it, they're all here. So ask away, fire away, and we'll have some fun. Real quick, I'm going to go through who's here tonight. The world is right as usual. Joe's in first. Sam Walker, good to have you here, Sam Walker. He says Norinco 56. Got to think about that because I have a Norinco 56 and I love it. It's probably the rarest version out there, a Bakelite folder. And I love it. I shoot it. It's not a safe queen. It's fun to shoot. The sights, I had to move them a little bit. I hate the hooded front sight. Can't stand it. If it wasn't what it was, I'd take a Dremel and open that sucker up. But of course, not going to do that. I did a video scaring a bunch of people, kind of tongue in cheek, making fun that I hated all this Bakelite furniture in this stupid folder and I was going to hack it up. And in the first couple of minutes of it, I mean, I thought it was obvious I was joking, but some people were like, oh my God, he's going to tear this thing up into pieces and all this stuff. And then I let everybody in on it. I thought it was very obvious, but I guess some people didn't. But, it's a nice gun. It's reliable. It's obviously from a Comblock factory. It's unique. It's worth some money, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, there's other guns I like shooting a lot more than that one. So I don't know that would be my choice, but it's your choice. They're beautiful guns. They're great guns. It's a shame that they were banned like everything else, right? They pick away, guys. They pick away. It started with Chinese back then. Nobody really gave a rat's ass. You know why? Because they were looked upon as cheap junk. I tell you guys this. I relay a lot of stories like I'm some old timer, and I guess I kind of am when it comes to the AK platform in general. I've been there. I've lived it. I've seen it. I've went through all these years, generations, and I was just a kid when my dad was collecting a lot of these, and I'd be along at the gun shop checking it out, listening to all the banter of the old guys and my dad's friends, all of that. And my dad was one of the guys that was into all this stuff early. Back then, it wasn't like today. You guys that today, you talk about the good old days. I say this all the time. You're in the good old days right now. Best it's ever been to get your hands on some of the coolest stuff ever. Forget about pre-ban, man. There's so many things now that just weren't there. You couldn't. There wasn't even a thought of braces and some of the accessories we have and the tactical equipment and body armor and suppressors, and it just wasn't there, And there's so much cool stuff now. But back then, my dad was one of those rare guys. And if you owned a black rifle back then, you were kind of looked at as kind of fringe, or maybe you were law enforcement, or you were certainly super into the gun hobby. So it was a cool time to be around and see all that growing up, So I saw the 70s and how things went. I saw the 80s and the 90s, and I've been through all the bands, all this other crap. And for other guys in my age group in their 50s or even 60s, um, maybe even some in their late 40s, we have seen the constant struggle and fight to keep our rights alive. We could have laid down a long time ago, guys, and it would have been over. And yeah, we lost some battles. And yeah, at the beginning, it wasn't taken anywhere near, I don't think, as serious as it is now, or some of the stuff wouldn't have happened in the first place. But it's always the common sense and the compromise, and there is no compromise when you're not getting anything in return, right? But we've lived through all these things, guys our age, and frankly, I'm tired. It's the constant struggle. You turn on the TV and they're trying to take this and ban that, and they want this, and the world's a different place. But it shouldn't be. We're the same people. We have the same needs, the same wants, the same cares, the same loves, the same families, and that doesn't change, But this constant struggle, this constant fight of always being on guard, and the constant chipping away without making progress or gaining some ground is tough. There's a lot of guys here will tell you that, I'm sure. But we keep going, and we keep trying to bring in the next generation and show them about these cool guns. And it's so cool that so many people have adopted the AK platform, because frankly, back then it was thought of as cheap Chinese or cheap comm block junk. It was garbage. Everybody wanted an AR or an FN or whatever else was out there at the time. Nobody wanted them. They were dirt cheap. They were a prepper's weapon, like an SKS was, for sure. Barrels of SKSs for $69. Anything you wanted, Chinese, Russian, whatever you wanted, $69. By the time the Yugo SKSs got in, they were $99, maybe $79 for a little while. You could buy the Yugos or Wassers for $2.99 and Yugo stuff for $3.99. And yeah, it was a great time. It was cheap. And then they got cool. When they started to ban, when the Chinese guns got banned, most guys just didn't care. But as with anything, when they take them away, everybody wants one, right? So the Russian guns, when Segas were coming in, a lot were coming in with the thumbhole stocks and everything. And you're like, who wants that junk, And then they started coming in the good versions, and all of a sudden people started paying attention, and then the internet came around, and YouTube, and channels like Rob Ski. I give him a lot of credit, man. He set the AK world on fire. He really did, and everybody, all these builders, guys, original guys like Krebs, who put together really cool stuff and showed people just how accurate they were and how reliable they were, and that they were a viable platform. And that's what made it so darn cool. So when it comes to Norinco, yep, they're cool. They're nice, reliable, expensive now, have been for a while. But now in relation to other stuff out there, not so expensive anymore, right? They haven't moved or made that big jump like some of the Russian stuff has, and other things. So there's some deals out there. Mac 90s, you can still find those. Those are all over the place, still with thumbhole stocks. Just make sure they've got the straight cut receivers. And there's some great deals to be had out there. Fixed stock 56s, not all that bad. Legends are bringing big money. Double folders are bringing big money. Obviously, Bakelites are bringing big money. But there's stuff in between that's, uh, compared to, geez, they're cheap even compared to what Vepers are bringing now. My God, a Vepper, I should consider my Vepers right there side by side with my Bakelite side folder, right? The things are bringing 4 grand. I see them even more. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But they're out there. So if you had one to buy, if you've put off or been saving, or man, I'll get some cheaper stuff first just to build up the collection or whatever. Because you get some more immediate gratification maybe with some less expensive stuff. What would that one be that said, man, this band's gonna suck, but I got to get something in under the wire, and I've always wanted it, and I'm just gonna do it. What would you do? Or are you in that position, kind of like I am right now, where last couple of years I've spent a ton, and you got other things going on, like maybe I don't know, a big wedding to pay big money for, and just those extra funds aren't there. I'd love to put a couple away right now, but the wife says no, can't do it right now. Um, so what do you do? You're like, oh my God, there's still, even at my level, there's still so many things I want to put in the collection, and I just can't. I may sneak one in under the wire here, or maybe I'll, or who knows. But yeah, God, that's a tough choice, right? Because it's timing. It's always timing, right? You got to be ready when a deal comes, or something comes available. You walk in a shop, and there on the wall is the perfect rifle you've been looking for. Maybe it is a Polytech Legend, or maybe it's a perfect kit build M70 that you've been waiting for, with the grenade launcher and all that, and then OPAP or something like that just won't do. Maybe you want that Sega, that Russian Sega, Tommy. Maybe I want one bad. Um, and you got to be ready. You got to have something there when the strike when the iron's hot. So put in the comments here what your last grab would be if something like this does come to fruition. What would it be? And we're going to jump in the comments here and say hi to everybody. So Sam Walker, good to have you here, man. Chase is here. Awesome. Chase Kelly. Finished riding mow after oil change, but beyond once done. What? I was on the rider too up until 10 minutes ago, and I'm still not done. Got to get out there and do it. We got some rain and then the heat. I mowed it yesterday, part of it, and what I mowed has already grown another 2 inches. It's unbelievable. Tommy Guns is in the house. Good to have you, Tommy. Hope you got something interesting for us. Tommy's always got some new acquisition that's really cool. Always coming up with something good. Awesome, Chase. Nothing new in the gun world for Joe, but Joe comes up with some good stuff too. He's been accumulating. AK Old School. Good evening, everyone. Good to have you in here, man. AK Old School, by the name and sound of his screen name. He's got all the AKs he wants stocked away, but we'll see. There's always one or another. You always need another, right? I'm in top chat. Let me switch this to live. That way I see everything, because sometimes you don't see everything in that. So let me readjust here. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Alan Bishop's here. What's going on, Alan? Mr. C, thoughts on the new M77 Serb? What's not to love, right? I mean, God, I love everything. I still call him Yugo. I just, there's not much I don't like that comes out of there. It was a Yugo gun was my first gun, although it was a Century M70 AB2. Probably the best, one of the best builds Century's ever put out. Well, they didn't put it out. They subcontracted it and then sold them. But back then they were considered Just a shitty Century build, and now they're great guns, and the thing holds up. I just uh, it was leaning over here right before the show, and I unfolded the stock and put it on the rack over here, and I was admiring it. I love that gun. Those guns came with black poly handguards and crappy Century grip, and we put authentic wood on it, and the Hugo pistol grip, and the sling. And of course, they had the grenade launcher, the night sights, the slant brake, all that good stuff. And back then, and it got me going on Hugo bolt hold open mags. Those were my favorite mags forever and ever. And I bought boatloads of them. When I could find them, it was like Christmas time, especially the super old ones that still were that gorgeous bluing. Yugoslavian guns had gorgeous finishes, guys, early on. And those mags, if you see the ones today, they're black, they're painted or parked and then painted. But some of the original ones had gorgeous blue finishes. If you find some of those, boy, you'll know it when you see them. But I bought up everything I could find of those. And I still love them. I still use them. You see a lot of videos of me shooting them. Circle 10's kind of my go-to mags. But there's none I don't like. I mean, I like them all. Even Magpuls have their place. Hell, even Tapcos have their place. A lot of old school AK guys, no pun intended, will tell you, everyone, oh, Tapco junk. I wouldn't trust my life to that. You know what? I might. I've never broken one, never had one jam. Yeah, they're ugly. Yeah, they're big, clunky. On some guns, they're the right fit. The one gun I love that mag on, I love the look for some reason. My pistol. On my mini. I don't have a micro, but my mini, it just looks cool with the way I have it set up. I don't know. Do I use them a lot? No. Would I take them into something important? Probably not. But I probably might think about changing my mind because I use them so much at the range all the time. They stay loaded sometimes for years and they don't go bad. I mean, we got a lot of mags and I love Hugo guns. So yeah, M77, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing not to like about that gun. Got LWRC 45 SMG. Cool. Mr. C, I picked one of the new. Oh, Alan got one of the M77s. Cool. Are you shooting it the first time tomorrow, Alan? Hard to wait, isn't it? Don't you hate waiting when you get a new one and something comes up, you can't get to the range? Hate it. Let's see. Some bitch is hard getting old people in bed. Joe, don't worry. God's got a special place for you, man. True American Loretta's here. Good to see you. I need to get a Hugo scope mount for that M77. Yeah, grab one. Just don't do that Zastava mount. That Zastava mount. I can only speak for the one I bought. I've shot other guns with it when I was at the Zastava shoot with those guys. They had some there, and while they seem to work well there, I didn't really take notice on this little thing, but they don't slide as forward as they should, like some of the others do, the Ars Regulate and all. And it really, especially if you're running a variable optic, it leaves the scope way too far back. It's a shame because they're nice. I could mill out just a little portion, get it to slide more forward, but they just have a lip there that when it catches the back of the side mount, it stops. It won't go any farther forward. So will it work with a red dot or something else? Yeah, but longer optics, um, kind of a pain in the neck. Doesn't work. Maybe they change it. Maybe there's a second gen or something. I don't know, but maybe they didn't mill something out on mine. But it sure seems like it's what they meant to do. So not liking it, unfortunately. But hey, get an RS Regulate. You can't go wrong with that. Their Yugo stuff is great. The problem is finding them in stock, right? And they're churning them out as fast as they can, but they never catch up. That's the amazing thing, right? And Z-Paps have been so popular. There's so many out there. Boy, they're doing a good job keeping those things flowing, right? But they're not catching up on that end. Word has it that UTG made those mounts for them. If you look at UTG's AK mount, it's the exact same thing. Not to say it's bad. UTG has two lines of stuff. One is their American-made stuff, and one's their imported Chinese-made stuff. The US-made line, which I think is called like their Pro line or something, that's actually really, really nice stuff. Nothing bad to say about it. As good as anything out there. The Chinese stuff, I don't know. Who else made it in here? Let's see. Joe says if he had to buy just one, if there was a band, he had the money. Zastava M90 because it's AK but 5.56. Unfortunately, not in the cards. Did not get my taxes, but it was to pay off my Bear Creek. Hey, you got something with it, Joe. But yeah, I like that M90, and I've told you guys before, I understand the barrel being a little bit longer. It's simply due to the ballistics of the 223-5.56. That's the optimal length barrel for that. Love the adjustable gas. Love the rest of it. I just, I've got a 5.56 gun. I've got that Sam 5, and I just can't wrap my head around it. I bought it for the sheer ability to run 5.56 if I had to. If 7.62 wasn't available for some reason. And that scratched the itch. It's there. It's done. Yes, I would buy one, but there's many, many, many other things ahead of it. That's all I got to say about that. Nothing wrong with it. Great gun. Shot great. It was cool. Getting a KUSA side folder and a WBP AK, Alan. WBP, awesome. KUSA, if you got all the other imports, go for it. But if you don't have all the imports you want, hold off and get the imports. Ordered an HK91 trigger pack from Bill Springfield. So I'm not, although you guys have seen the video on my MP5 or videos, and we got the brace for it and all. Now I'm gonna get the HK optic mount for it, the clamp, the claw, and then decide what optic. I think just a red dot of some sort. But I'm just building my knowledge on HK stuff, and it started when I got that Spanish set me. Early roller locker, and I really loved the way it shot and the way it felt and the recoil and everything. And now the MP5, that's awesome. But I just don't know a lot about who makes what for them. So if you want to, Alan, tell us a little bit about that trigger pack and Bill Springfield, and if that's the hot setup, what it is. I don't even know what he does. Does he just do a trigger job on them? What is it? Got to learn. I'm just learning. Wasser 10, and I love it. I don't blame you, little Kenny TV. Wasser 10, if you saw the thumbnail for this video, I used the picture from a video, Vepper versus Wasser. And probably, especially at today's money, not so much back then when I did that video, but at today's money, boy, you can't get further extremes, right? You got the Wasser over here and you got Veppers doing this kind of money over here. And basically compared the two and said, hey, is it worth the difference? You know, Wasser was my second AK I ever bought, and I still have it. You guys are very lucky, the ones that are buying Wassers nowadays, because back then, I remember looking at it in the box, Century, and back then it was much cooler though. When you bought a Wasser, and there was every design known to man, every stock, folders, wire stocks, fixed stocks, RPKs, on and on and on and on, whatever you wanted from Romania, right? God, there were some whacked out. If you guys ever get a old Shotgun News and can look through it and just see, it's like, you know, different length barrels and just all kind. They put anything they could together. Some with dongs, some without. Back then, nobody wanted a dong. You couldn't give away a dong. So if they had a 55-gallon drum of dongs, they'd say, please take them. They're free. Get them out of here. Century was cutting them off and sanding them down. We lost millions of dong handguards to the Century circumcision. The Century CC, Century circumcision. It's a shame, but nobody wanted a dong. I didn't want it. I thought, who the hell? Look at how ugly that is. That's not an AK. Don't want it. Nobody would. If you had a dong on it, on a Wasser back then, nobody bought it. Not to mention, they were scratched up, gouged up, scuffed up. Because at the factory, I'm sure there was a barrel of barrels, and they just slapped them in and slid them down the line, threw them in a box. It looked like it was a used gun. It was a rough park finish, and the park was all scuffed. And plus, there were a lot of guns, too, that they were still using military parts from demilled guns or extra military parts and new parts, old wood, new wood, this, that, the other thing. You never knew what you were going to get, right? But the cool thing was when you opened that box, they gave you a couple mags. There'd be a mag pouch, oilers, tool kits, bayonets, all kinds of stuff. There was always gifts. And slowly but surely, they narrowed it down to now what? You get a P-mag, and I don't think you get a toolkit, do you? I don't know. I think a P-mag, you're lucky to get a cleaning rod, I think, sometimes. Crazy. They used to give all that stuff away. And you could go to a gun show, there'd be barrels of the pouches and $1 a piece, 50 cents a piece. Romanian mags, $2 a piece, tool kits, all that crap. Dong handguards, here, take them. Anyhow, you guys are lucky to have the better quality control. Yeah, along with that came canted sights, twisted receivers. Some guns wouldn't function. Very, very rare, but they wouldn't. Sights that were, you had to adjust them so far off. Oh my God. Insane stuff, right? Today, at least, they're pretty straight. The finishes are better. The wood looks good, but sucks. I never thought it would be hard or expensive to get a set of Romanian wood. Who would have thunk it, right? Back then, you could get a stock and a handguard and a gas tube cover and all the goddamn Bakelite grips you wanted for $10. You know, literally, you can probably get 5 sets. I mean, crazy. Now I look at it, I'm like, was I an idiot? I should have just bought it all up and sat on it. And I did to some extent. We've got some wood refinishing videos using Romanian wood. And one of the sets is actually on my Wasser now. It's gorgeous stock and a dong handguard. They're They had palm swell handguards. Mine actually came with an original palm swell handguard. I have that. It's put away. The shellac is redone. Most of the shellac was gone off all the Romanian stuff coming in from Century back then. The wood was rougher than hell, looked drier than hell, but most of it with a little sanding and just light, and a nice coat of shellac really came to life. And they were shellacked originally. They just had taken a beating, worn down. Century, I'm sure, sanded them, uh, when they were brought in. Century did most of the damage to all that stuff, but it was better than giving a customer, I guess, or they thought it was better giving them one that wasn't missing half its shellac and gouges out of it. So it always looked dried out. Today you get that balsa wood, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys just getting into it that say, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it looks nice, blonde wood, whatever." And then they learn, how soft it is and whatnot. But yeah, so there were the good and bad back then. If you come across an old wasser, you'll see. Mine, back some years ago, I had kind of perfected the art of appliance epoxy on AKs. Matter of fact, you'll see if you're on AK Files and you go into their refinishing thread, pretty much I put, or they posted it or pinned it or something, my way of doing it. And it can come out really, really nice, believe it or not. And it's some of the toughest stuff I've ever seen. If you guys are on a budget and you want to refinish a gun, there's no better choice to get a paint job like that to stick than a wasser because of the park finish. All I'll tell you is degrease the hell out of it with brake cleaner, and then put it in a 150-degree oven and just sweat anything out of the rivets and clean it again. Do it 2-3 times if you have to till there's nothing weeping. And then you want to preheat it before you shoot it. So pull it out of a 125, 130, 150-degree oven, hang it, and shoot it. And shoot it from a distance. You don't want a super wet coat. You want it almost dry as it's going on, maybe a hair wet, but you certainly don't want a heavy wet coat. Do light coats, and a last coat, you want almost a dusting, and it'll come out gorgeous. It'll, in some cases, I can almost get them to look like a Vepr finish, sort of. Make sure you are always using the Rust-Oleum, though. Do not use an off-brand. I made that mistake on my wasser using Ace brand that looked like it was made by Rust-Oleum. And it is the shiniest, most glossy, glass-like finish you have ever seen in your life. It just doesn't fit on an AK. It makes it look like a toy. And the problem is now getting it off. Even my sandblaster is going to have a hard time with this one, boy. You can hit it with a hammer and it won't bother it. But it works very well. I'd practice maybe on a few things and then bake it. The hotter you bake it, the duller it'll dull down. Don't be scared when you spray it and you go, "Oh my God, it's so glossy." It'll dull down. Don't worry about the heat. On the hardening, you're never going to get your oven hot enough to bother that. 350 is good enough. 275 even. I even forget. I'll go in my instructions on AK Files. Maybe I should do a video on it. I don't know. But I keep threatening to do a Cerakote video. Maybe we'll get to that one of these days. But wassers are one of the better candidates because of that park finish. Maybe if you have an arsenal that's flaking or bubbling, that's not a bad candidate either. But, back in those days, the guns we're talking about here weren't all that collectible. Now it's almost like anything could be collectible. By next week, if this ban takes effect, it all could be extremely collectible, or you may have to give it away, eventually. because once they put something into effect like that, did you guys notice one thing? Did any of you read it? It's a duplicate to the California bill. So for some of you guys that aren't from California, not that I am, um, yeah, that's what's coming down the pipe, but even worse. And what do? They say, oh, you got a grandfather, you can keep your stuff. But then what do? Then it's a loophole. Oh, yeah, all those guns out there that we said you could keep, that's a loophole now. And we need to take those guns away. And that's what happens. This is so dangerous, guys. There is no giving up. There is no giving up. This ban, it needs mass defiance on the general public. That's what it needs. Um, and it needs work right now. It needs all you guys on the phone. Don't think that doesn't work. It's what's held off a ton of things. And target those Republicans that voted for the red flag laws. Target them. Call. I don't care if you live in the state or not. Call. Tell them you live there. Send the email. Bombard them. Emails, telephone calls. It works, guys. When some of them, yeah, they're part of the agenda. Others, I think some of these guys really think that that's what their constituents think, that they want this, and they don't. They've been talked into it. They don't spend enough time with their constituents. So make sure that you're doing something about it. It's easier to fight it now than it will be. Yes, it's unconstitutional, 100%, based off the wins we've had last week and the week before. It's unconstitutional. They don't care. They don't care it's unconstitutional. They'll vote it through. It's part of the Democratic agenda. So we need to stop it now. This is the closest we've ever been to having this come to fruition. A lot of guys are saying, oh, it won't make it. I'd love to say that. I can't say that. In my heart of hearts, I think they're going to get it this time. I think they are. I really, really do. I don't want that to happen. Don't take it as that. Don't take it as I'm giving up. I don't know that they'd put this through this time right now. They know it's their last shot. But I just got a feeling. I think enough people are going to cave. There's been enough big, high-profile things in the news. They've swung this Indiana thing around. Instead of a hero and everything, they're making him out to be, just a criminal that was there with a gun. Not good. But yeah, the Wasser is a great candidate for that if that's the way you want to go. Try it. Send it out for Cerakote if you want. There's nothing wrong with a Wasser. A Wasser will run and run forever. Are there better guns? Yeah. Maybe there's some better fit and finish. Is there a gun that runs better than a Wasser? Probably not. They run just as good as anything. They wear just as good as anything. Are they as smooth as anything? Probably not. But it's as true to form as you're going to find as an AKM. It's the most customizable. Anything you want to do to it, any way you want to arrange it, it can be done. And it's the best quality that's been coming out of Romania ever. Because back when I got my Wasser, not so much. And believe it or not, I want another one because mine isn't that nice. I still want another one. And why not? Romanians are great guns. I love them. I got two of the RP AES 10B. We thinking about this thing tonight was what would be the AK you would buy if a ban was coming down. What don't you have in your collection? Maybe you don't have one at all. Maybe there's a hole in your collection. Well, I'll bet a lot of you don't have an RPK. And maybe it's not high on your radar because you think, what do I need that big RPK for? It's heavy, it's this, it's that. Maybe you don't think they're cool. Maybe you think they are cool, but what am I going to do with it? Sure, they'd be really cool if they were full auto, right? Nothing would be cooler than that. But if you don't have an RPK or if you haven't shot one, the closest you can get right now to a Russian RPK is a AES 10B. Yeah, the Bulgarian stuff, crazy money, right? Very close to. But an AES 10B, God, when those things came out, they were like $599 or something. I think I paid under $1,000 for mine. And until you shoot one, they're very cool. They're fun to do some long distance shooting with. Take them out, 200, 300 yards and mess around with them. Having the bipod is nice at the range. Um, they always look cool at a drum or a 40 rounder or something. And that AES 10B is the legit, there it is, man. That's RPK. They are fun. And it's cool to have in your collection. If you got it sitting there in your gun room or whatever with the original top loading drum in it and the bipod with the wing nuts, man, it's cool. And then I had that kit for the Romanian paratrooper RPK with the folding stock and the dong. Very, very rare kit, right? Not a ton of them out there. And frankly, I haven't seen a couple videos maybe of guys that have built them. Now, the AES 10B did come in a folding stock for a short while. The original run of RPKs that Century brought over, the AES 10B, there was a paratrooper version available. However, all it had was the folding stock. It did not have the dong. And these kits had the original dong that came on these paratrooper models. My kit was unissued, unfired, the most gorgeous kit I've ever bought. Perfect. All numbers matching. The wood was perfection. And I sent it off to Two Rivers and they redid it. The finish is spot on for the Romanian finish, but perfect. Keep in mind, I could have left it. It was that nice. Of course, in the build process, you'll get some scratches and whatnot. If you guys have ever built guns, you can be as careful as you want, and you'll get some scrapes in this just pressing stuff together and different things. But I could have sent it to Two Rivers. They're good enough. They could have kept the damn thing perfect, or near perfect. But my OCD and me, I told them I want it the original finish, and I just want it perfect. So redo it all. So they redid it all except for the bipod. They left that because it was perfect and nothing was going to get messed up putting that together. A few other things. I've got an original muzzle device on it for them, although originally I think they came with nuts. Then later they had the with the oval cutouts on it. I've got an original flash hider on it. That cost me big bucks even then. But what a cool gun, that paratrooper, man. And if you guys have a rare kit or just want anything you're building or putting together done to perfection, send it to Two Rivers, man. They're artists. They really are. There's a lot of good guys out there, but they're the ones that I trust if it's a super rare kit or something. Even Mark Krebs told me me and Mark were going to build that gun. One Saturday, we talked about it, and he was going to have to get a different jig for the bulge receiver and stuff. But we were going to do it. But at the end of the day, I wanted it refinished, and he didn't have the ability to blue it and really couldn't recommend anybody in the area. And I brought up Two Rivers. He says, yeah, he goes, that's what he would have done. So that's what we ended up doing. But if you don't have an RPK and you can find an AES 10B, God, for a while there was a ton of them, right? And now there's not. Maybe a PSL. How about a PSL? I don't have a PSL. For a while, I was hunting one specifically and just fell by the wayside. That may be something I'd like to look at. There's still a lot out there. I need a Polish gun. God, it sucks. If this happens, guys, and be scared. Be very scared. I hope you're scared because maybe it'll motivate you guys to do something. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of you do. We talked about it. But if you've ever done it, now's the time to do it. Get on the phone, watch a few videos on it so you can educate yourself. I'll talk about some of it here, what's in there, as we go on with the live stream tonight. But don't want to bore you guys. I wanted to talk about this AK thing, and we'll get to that later. But watch some of the other alternatives. And look at that. I mentioned Jarrett. Action's unstable. He gets a lot of pressure, if you know what I mean. But yeah, go down there. He's got the links down there. Couple clicks, you can send an email right off to your senator, your representative. It's easy. Make sure you do it, please. I beg you guys to do it. But yeah, if you don't have an RPK, grab an RPK, maybe something different. Round out your collection. Don't have a PSL? Grab a PSL. They're cool guns. An early one, maybe one of the newer imports. There's still a few out there. Once in a while, I'll run in a shop and I'll see a new PSL hanging on the wall. You never know what you find. There's some cool shops out there. Go visit and get something in, just in case. Like I said, I think this one just may be the last hurrah. I just got a bad feeling about it. And if some of these Republicans vote the way they did on the red flag laws, we're screwed, guys. All the fun's over for a while. And you say, well, it'll pass. Well, if they'll take it to court, and hopefully eventually they'd win, but that's 10 years, 15 years. Who knows how long it takes? Could somebody step in and a lawsuit be overturned real quick? Sure, maybe. But chances are, if you lose it and a ban goes in place, it will be a decade or better before you get it back. And who knows? It's so much harder to play catch up and to fight back than it is to fight for it right now. Right now. Make sure you are. Let's see who else here. So Little Kenny said Wasser 10. Gotta love it. Wasser 10, man. That's the baseline, right? That's true AKM. You can do anything with it. Dan Dude, Baril. Absolutely, man. Love the Barils. I want a Baril for sure. There's so many Polish guns I want right now. And I just hit one of these lulls here where I haven't bought a lot. And there's so many out there I need to get. The only reason to buy an HK is to flex on the pour, says Eric Van Tassel. No, that's not the only reason. Trust me, it's not to flex. I've had many nights kind of buyer's remorse at the money. But because I think about all the other AKs I could get 2 or 3 AKs for that. It's not the flex. It's if you're gonna do one. There's plenty of great clones, and a lot of guys may be okay with clones, and that's fine. But if you're collecting, that's the gun you want. And it's been years since it's the first one finally that's here in the right configuration. You could have bought one with the long barrel and all that, and one without the mag release and all that stuff. But when the right one's here and it's staring at you, I'd rather put a couple things off, save a little bit, and grab one. It has nothing to do with flexing on the pores. Nothing to do with that at all. I think just about everybody in this chat or anybody that's been on this channel before for one of these live streams will tell you I'm not about flexing on the pores. That's not it at all. It's about collectability and the mystique, the iconicness of the whole thing. I don't know. It just is what it is. I mean, let's face it. When it comes to AKs, what would you rather have? Russian Sega SGL or let's say an Arsenal or a Wasser or whatever. Rather have the SGL, right? Rather than an Arsenal SLR 107, right? I love my 107 FRs. That is my favorite stamped gun. In particular, I've got two of them. In particular, I love, and it's bone ass stock. I got an SLR 107 FR with the triangle stock. The gun is so light, so handy, so accurate with its irons. It's just a pretty gun. I love it. It's got a TDI Arms handguard on it. I said bone stock, but it's got a TDI Arms handguard on it and a Kyber Customs cheese grater on it. And that's it. I haven't even bought an optic for it. Once in a while, I'll take an optic off something else and shoot it, but it shoots so well with it. It's so light. If I was going to put anything on it, it'd either be a red dot or a variable 1x6, 1x8. And I actually threw on my 1x6 that's on my Krebs SLR 107 FR the other day. And immediately it just adds 2 pounds to the gun. And now it goes from, wow, this is so cool, everything, to, oh man, here we are. It's just like every other AK I got, or it's like my Krebs, which, don't get me wrong, I love my Krebs. There's a reason I have an SLR 107 FR Krebs gun. It's just so light, so handy. Matter of fact, that's my next video coming out. Doing a little video on that triangle folder again and just how much I love it, how well it shoots. I love those guns. But yeah, it's not about flexing on the pores. It's about, to some, the history, that stuff doesn't matter. They just want the platform and they want the affordability of it. And let's face it, even like the Zenith gun, that's pretty much an HK. It's just the Packy version. They're licensed by HK. So that's the real deal. And if you think about it, it ain't about flexing, because those Century Zeniths, I think street price is around $2,200, right? Well, guess what the HK is? MSRP is $2,775 or something. So whoopee, it's $500 more. Sure, street price in some cases is pushing up to $3,000, $3,200, whatever. But it really, if you can get one in hell, once in a rare while, box store here in Wisconsin, Fleet Farm will get one in. And it goes in the case, and it goes at MSRP, $2,700. And if you are lucky enough to walk in while they have one there, you buy it for $2,700. That ain't flexing, my man. It has nothing to do with flexing. I love my Scorpions. Check out my video. I shoot the Scorpions along with my what is it? My Ruger. Hell is it? Challenger. My little Ruger Challenger pistol, braced, and the MP5 side by side. I love them all. I don't love the MP5 more. I love them kind of evenly. I love my Scorpions. As a matter of fact, the first thing you notice, I say in the video, not necessarily notice if you shoot one mag through it and then jump to the Scorpion or vice versa. But if you're shooting one, multiple mags, and then you switch to the other, the first thing you're going to notice is the weight of the HK. And for that, I love the Scorpions. And I just think the Scorpions are cool. I don't know. I almost might look at a decked out Scorpion, and I mean decked out, as kind of more of a flex than the HK. I mean, I guess if by flex you purely mean money, but sometimes flexing's just, I guess, what you think is cool. And it may not be to you, maybe it's a flex, and to someone else, it's not a flex. I don't know. I'm not into that. I am into what I like. It's obvious by some guns I buy that, that's not important to me. I've got some cheap guns that I love, like my Canic. That's a great gun. Love it. Look at my ARs. I can go buy any AR I want, anything. But almost every single one I have is in Aero Precision. I like them. That's all. Daniel Defense, would I put one in? Yeah, maybe, or a I don't know what else. I don't know. Let's just say Daniel Defense for argument's sake. Great gun. Are they cool? Yeah. The furniture's kind of neat, comfortable. But let's face it, I'd probably change that out anyways right away. I've shot them. Are they all that much better? I don't know. I've seen some more accurate. I've seen arrows more accurate than a Daniel Defense. It is what it is, and some guys are AR snobs, some guys are AK snobs, some guys are this, whatever. But man, I don't dig that flexing. That ain't the only reason people buy stuff. I don't believe it. Who's still in business? Talk to who today? Only reason to buy an HK? Okay, we talked about that. Let's see. Tommy, there hasn't been a lot of the assault weapon ban on the general media. A lot of people may not even know. They don't. So if you find a good video on it that explains it, short, concise, what's coming down, what's about to happen, and the risk that it very well could pass, share it. Share it to if you got a Facebook, share it to Facebook. If you got Instagram, share it to where other family members that aren't as into guns as you are, share it to that, where you kind of maybe communicate with them. So the average person that maybe believes in the Second Amendment and all, wouldn't want to see it, things go away and it be infringed on, share it there. Those are, and urge them to make some noise too. If you get one or two guys, it'll help. Don't just watch it. Don't just do it yourself. Share it. Those that aren't as into it as you are, but are staunch conservatives and believe in the Second Amendment, those are the other ones you need to get involved. Urge them. Tell them, God, if you've ever wanted to help, or you love this country and love your rights and love the Constitution, please, this is the time you need to do it. There's a reason they're keeping it more quiet, right? Because it's going to pop up and you just may see it. Be very careful. It's coming, guys. They're trying. They chip away, and they're getting better at it. We've had a lot of wins, and a lot of us are sitting back going, well, we're safe now. You're never safe. Yeah, that latest ruling was basically seals the deal. Doesn't mean they can't pass an unconstitutional law. They don't care. They don't care if it is or not. If it passes, it's still there. It's still got to be knocked down. Someone's still got to bring a lawsuit. It's got to work its way through the lower courts and then work its way all the way up to district, circuit, this, that, the other, and then got to finally get to the Supreme Court. Will they hear it then? Will that court change? Will we get another regime like we have now? God only knows. If we have more fair elections, you never know. It's just, guys, it's not even. This should be foremost in your mind right now, because What happens if it goes away? Think about here's something. Let's talk about this. I said it's the golden age. It's the good old days for everybody right now that's into this hobby, collecting guns, shooting, the history of them, all the accessories and the things available, and the ability to build clones of cool historic guns, or just build a cool badass rifle that you wanted a configuration. It's all there. Companies out there doing it. The parts are there. The builders are there. Anything you want can happen. If you can dream it, they can make it, right? What's going to happen to all these companies, guys? What's going to happen? What are they going to do? They're all going to go away. Think about it. You got a company like Krebs. What's he going to do? Make guns for law enforcement? Yeah. How many contracts are out there? Can it support what the general public is supporting now? No. Look at the amount of companies, the amount of stuff they sell, the business they do. You don't think what we do is popular? It's hugely popular. They would love to make you think that we're this small group of people and we don't matter. Well, let me tell you something. We matter. These are $1 million companies, some of these manufacturers, guys, lots of them. And where's all this money come from? There's lots of us. They want you to think that you're in the minority, that your voice doesn't matter, that when you call a representative or you make some noise or you put out a Facebook post or an Instagram post or maybe a video, maybe you decide, hey, first time ever, I've got a YouTube account. I'm going to put a video out with my phone and I'm going to share it with friends and relatives and whatnot. They want you to think that your voice doesn't matter, that it's not worth your time or effort to make the phone call, to send the email. It is worth it, guys. And this is the most important fight you're going to have, because I'm telling you, I got a really, really bad feeling about this one. Really bad feeling. They passed that red flag law, guys, with Republican help. Wouldn't have happened, but lots of Republicans flipped. All this stuff in the news, Uvalde, Texas, all this stuff. You don't think there's sentiment out there, or they think there's sentiment? We may be very, very, very sad individuals if we don't do our job now and fight hard on this one. Please, 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 I beg of you all to do it. I want to have cool new things to talk about. Yeah, what are we going to talk about a year from now if there's nothing new coming out? All these companies fold, all these jobs go away. They don't care. Tell me they care when they've destroyed our energy sector. They've destroyed our economy. They've destroyed our housing markets. They've destroyed our labor market. It's unbelievable. And everyone says, boy, that's funny. If they couldn't have done worse if they tried. Guess what? They were trying. It's what they wanted to do. It's what they want to do. It's part of the plan. It's going to get much worse before it gets better if we allow it. Look what they've done in not even 2 years. Imagine, think about it. Right now with everything that's going on, could you have imagined that any regime could do that in 2 years? Think about 2 years ago, 4 years ago, pre-COVID. Could you imagine what has went down in the last couple of years? No, you can't. Imagine another 2. And tell me there ain't a plan and they're not affecting that plan and that this isn't part of it. It's absolutely part of it. Look at what they got people to do. Look at what they were mandating you do. Now, you want to take a regime that mandated what they mandated? You will wear a mask. You will take a shot. You will do this. You will do that. You will give us your guns. Think about that one. That same regime, that same group of people, you will give us your guns. You can't have them. Why not? Why not? It begs you the thought, that a government that does things like that, or things that our alphabet soup agencies do in other countries to other prominent officials around the world, during wartime or not, do you really think that some collateral damage at a school really means all that much to them? I just wonder sometimes. I wonder. Or is the agenda what's the important part about moving their grasp on power? Makes you think. Things that go, makes you go, The good news is more people are waking to what they see it for what it is now, because enough of us were talking about it. And now that enough of this has come to pass, things that were just thought of as lunatic fringe stuff just 2, 3, 4 years ago, they've now happened. Go remind them when they used to tell you you were crazy. Go remind them. Remember when you thought I was crazy? Well, look, that happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. This is happening. Maybe there is something to it. And they stick their heads in the sand like ostriches, and they wonder. You don't want to take it away. This is your hobby, guys. This is what you love. You can't legislate against insanity, right? That's never going to happen. And that's the only thing that causes these tragedies. It ain't the guns. Look at Indiana. It's the good guy with the gun. That guy is a hero. Oh, by the way, that gun he used to save the day, that Glock, can't have it. It's going to be illegal. Do you know part of that law is it's not just assault weapons, guys. If there is a full automatic version of whatever gun, you pick it, a full automatic version available or made, the semi-automatic version is now illegal or will be banned under this new law. That includes the Glocks, right? Glock makes a fully automatic version of it. Sorry. Bye-bye. The most popular handgun in the world, gone. Banned. You can't have it. You're not trustworthy. That ordeal at the Indiana Mall there, that hero that went out there and saved God knows how many people. Yeah. Amazing, huh? He disproved every argument against gun control there is. Disproved every one of them. And that's why you're not hearing about it. Or you are hearing about it, but they're changing the whole spin on it. It's about man in possession of illegal gun, or man in defiance of gun laws takes out shooters. There's people out there, newscasters, saying that, well, what good is it? He killed 4 and now there's just another dead guy. Really? Really? That's what you believe? I don't know. To me, it's two thoughts on the subject, right? Their thought is, well, if we all want the same thing, we want safety for our families, safety for ourselves, our kids. We just want to go about our lives and be safe, right? So their thought is, we both have the same thoughts. It all starts out the same. We want that safety. We want to be able to go do things we want, come home safe and sound, right? At the end of the day, it's just how we get to that safety where we differ, right? They think, well, if I get rid of all the guns, then everything will be good. And we say, well, you're not going to get rid of the guns because the criminals obviously get guns. That mall was a no gun zone, right? Gun free zone. Criminals still he had 2 ARs there and a Glock. Well, this guy came in with a Glock under constitutional carry that was passed only 2 weeks ago. What if that hadn't been passed? How many would have died? He chose to bring it in where they said no guns. Yeah, but it's constitutional. He was within his right there, within the state's laws, and he stopped it. He stopped it from quite a distance by all accounts. And the police even said he was tactically sound and very proficient. And looked like he was well practiced. They said he had no military experience, no police training. He obviously trained on his own, practiced on his own, because they did nothing but compliment the hell out of him. Guys, that's me and you. That's us. That's us taking our toys, our fun stuff. And somebody will scold me. I got scolded once on my own video. Somebody said, well, he calls them a toy. They're not a toy. Oh my God, really? Yeah, I think everyone's used the term range toy, right? We find them fun. It's a term. That's all it is. They get hung up on these terms. They get hung up on assault rifle. They get hung up on that. This is what it is. Why not call it an assault rifle? Who cares? Yeah, that's what it's for. It's for protecting our rights and fighting back against tyranny. Yeah, we have them in case tyranny rears its head. We can assault right back, right? That's what it's there for. I don't know. But they don't want you using that, Big deal. Big deal. Call it what it is. Anyhow, yeah, this guy did his job. He took out a guy with 2 ARs and a Glock with a handgun. But the police are outgunned. No, it's who's more proficient, who's more tactically sound, I guess, at the end of the day, right? Did a hell of a job. I don't know. They'll spin it how they spin it, right? Joe, my whole life has been a band era. Yeah, it has, Joe, in a lot of ways, right? In one shape, or form, but there's so much cool stuff out there, and we still have the Second Amendment, and we have our God-given rights. You can remember, they're not given to us by the Constitution. We're not tapped on the head with a wand by the powers that be saying, you can have this. You can have this. We give you the right to have this. They don't give us anything. It simply affirms our God-given right. That's the word I was looking for, affirms. So don't fret just yet. All I'm telling you is make sure that you're doing your part, that you're fighting the good fight. So let's get back here. Yeah, Tommy, you're absolutely right. This assault weapon ban thing hasn't been out in the general media. They don't want to raise the flag and kick off the attack. They don't want everybody to know. They want this thing. They're going to shoot it through. It's going to come out of committee. They're going to shoot it right through the House, and I think that's going to happen tomorrow. It's coming out of committee tomorrow for sure. I don't know if they'll get the vote on it right away. It's going to pass the House. The only thing stopping it's the Senate, and all it takes is a couple of Republicans like did it on red flag, and it's all gone, guys. It's gone. You need to get on the phones, get on email tonight, tomorrow morning. Get it done, as many as you can. I don't care if you live in those states or not. Who's the guy down in Illinois now? Kinzinger. There's one. Get on his site. He's a Republican. He's nothing but a rhino. He's a Democrat. He's a full-on Democrat. Get on his website and pound him away. I can't remember his first name. Kinzinger, something like that. Pound away. Tell him you're in his district. Tell him you're going to vote him out. Tell them you've got an organization, a church full of people, whatever, that you're spreading the word and you're going to vote them out. Do that for every one of them that voted for that red flag law. Get in there and do it multiple times. It's that important. It's the new production. The problem was fixed with those. My buddy has one. Acre has been fine. I love Joe's comment. My whole life has been a ban era. Let's see. What else we got here? Eric Van Tassel, assault weapon ban sunset in 2004. Yeah, well, there's a new one coming down the pipe, Eric, buddy of mine. It's coming. and they're putting it through the out of committee through the House, and it'll be to the Senate by the end of the month, full on, and it just may pass. You need to watch some videos on good old YouTube here and see what's going on, because it's going to scare the hell out of you. It's going to everything is going to go away. It's all going to be gone. Yeah, there's a grandfather clause, but and mags too. Nothing over 10 rounds. Nothing. Um, it, everything. They covered everything. You're going to be left with a handful of shotguns too. Shotguns. Anything over 5 rounds. Anything with a magazine shotgun gone. Anything with barrel shrouds. Anything with collapsible stocks. Anything with a muzzle device, it's all gone. I'm not kidding you guys. There'll be a handful of 1022s, maybe. That may even be on there. I'm not kidding you. It is the worst. It is so far worse than the last one. You have no idea. Just about every modern handgun out there right now will be gone. Won't be able to have it. I'm not kidding you. I am not exaggerating. Go watch the videos. It's that bad. Shotguns, pistols. It's not just assault rifles, guys. It's everything. Everything. Down to body armor and suppressors. And I don't know if there's optics in there, but everything. If it's got a removable magazine, everything. It covers everything. You'll be left with a bunch of hunting rifles. That's it. I wonder if an M1 Garand would even go. Oh, M1 carbine. I'll bet you that's gone. Yeah, I'm sure it's gone. 15 round mag, 30 round, gone. Can't even have that. What else? I'm just looking on the wall here. SKS, maybe not. God, every shotgun I got on the wall here gone. Vepr be gone. The VR80 be gone. The Beretta be gone. Hell, the Mossberg would be gone. God, everything. I'm looking around. AR pistols, gone. If it's ever been made in a fully automatic gun, gone immediately. Yeah, terrible. Midwest Industry, they do make good stuff for their mounts. There's nothing bad comes out of Midwest Industries. Nothing. It's all good stuff. Made right here in Wisconsin. Good old Wisconsin. We've got so many good manufacturing companies that serve the firearm industry. It's not even funny. Crazy how many are up here. I had a Polytech Legend. I never understood the hype. I don't understand the Chinese hype either. I like them because of the history and all. But I would never pay what they wanted for Legends back when they were not gone crazy even. Where to find wood furniture for Arsenal Sam 5. There's a couple guys making it. Ironwood makes it. Did I hear Ironwood maybe went out of business or something? But Ironwood makes some nice sets. They make it for just about everything. And they kind of make it in the same pattern as the polymer stuff as far as the hand grip goes and the lines in it and all. But you can order whatever color you want, everything. Mitchell M70, yeah, that'd be cool to grab. That's a good one, Sam. Yeah. Picked up a CZ83 and 380. Interesting. Alan, you're like me a lot of times. You just you see something and you go, that's just kind of different, or it's cool, or you like something about it, and you just, what the hell, I'll grab it. FNX 45, very nice, very nice. You've been putting away some good stuff. Hugo SKS is cool one. if you got the funds, my first SKS. I've got one. You saw my Bubba video. Look up my Bubba video when I took it out of the Tapco stock and put it back. Um, I did a video on the Russian, my Chinese, and the Yugo. Short little video. Maybe we'll take the Yugo or the Russian out for a little range day. Oh, guess what? Mosin Nagant video. Yeah, in the books, baby. Got the footage. We're going to have some cool stuff. I know you guys have been waiting to see it, right? Kind of, maybe we'll do the Mosin Nagant SKS intake. You just show the progression of the Russian rifle, huh? I totally love a Vepr 12, but in a banned state would have to do with another like RPA or Comrade. Yeah, well, Vepr 12s may be banned in all 50 states if this passes real quick. I'm staring at mine there. Love it. So cool. And yeah, gone. Did I see Orion is in the house? Where it just jumped on me, guys. I'm sorry. Oh Jesus. If I stay in this chat, man, you guys are chatting up a storm. That's good. I'm glad. I see some of you guys sticking up for me here a little bit. I have an AS-10B. Love it, right? Cool gun. I did an accuracy test on it. I put a scope on it. And man, that thing did really well. I was surprised. Joe says, rock for now. The band is a lot of hot air, and we all need to say no in unison, in mass, and never give in. Yeah, well, it's not a lot of hot air. There's very, very close, I'm telling you. Ellen's got a Wasser side folder with a dong. Oh, gee, there you go. Yep. I need a dong on my RPK. Everybody does. The problem with it is the regular dongs don't fit the AES-10Bs. It's a bulged trunnion, obviously, like every other RPK, like a Yugo bulged trunnion, and the barrel's thicker. So I've seen guys hog out regular Romanian dongs, but you're getting awfully thin, and yeah, they're just hard to find. At one point, just the RPK dongs off of some of these kits, believe it or not, a couple guys were splitting them up, or somehow they got their hands on a few of the RPK dongs. I saw one go for $700. I mean, crazy. Then there's a guy making dongs, and somebody was making the RPK style. I think it was on AK Files or something like that. He was laminating them and making them. They were pretty nice. They're pretty cool. Bill Springfield does trigger work on a ton of different guns. I had never heard of them, and specifically on the HK. I've had new HK trigger packs before, lightens and makes them more crisp. I think, to me, the feeling's pretty darn good. I got trigger kits in my Scorpions, and they feel tons better. It could use to be lightened, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, that new M77, that is nice. We talked about that. Oh, here, I have a Zastava mount. I have a Primary Arms 3x Prism on it. Works well. It's no RS Regulate, but it works. That's from Dan Dude. Yeah, I love the Primary Arms 3X Prisms. I've got one on my NPAP. I've got another one with a 5.56 reticle that I shot 5. It doesn't work on that gun. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I thought about putting it on my AR-10 because I built that AR-10 to kind of be not like a CQB, but not a precision 308 either. I built it for kind of an intermediate DMR sort of thing. And I thought, that may be a pretty cool gun. And Can't remember if that's the 3 or the 5. I think it's a 3 power. But I love those prism scopes. They're so nice. It's a great way to go. They're more compact. They don't weigh as much. And it works perfectly on my end pap. I do have an RS Regulate mounting that one. But you're right. A prism scope on that Zastava mount would work okay. It wouldn't. You'd have enough room to put it forward enough without being too far back. Let's see. I've been sitting on finished rifle for 3 months, wanting to dial in. Well, get out to the range, Joe. Come on, man. I'd go for some Makarov variants or Tokarov variants. Can still snag a peach. Yeah. I love my Makarovs. I got lucky enough to, my dad was in the Makarovs way back when the East Germans were coming in. And he'd sit me down. There were several nights where he'd have his buddies over and he'd almost give a speech about how wonderful these guns are and they're hot enough. And he tells a story. He was a police officer in Chicago, as was I. But he left Chicago, went into business for himself, did well. When he was getting ready to retire, he had a lot of health issues. And while he was in business for himself, he had left Chicago, but he worked for Cook County. And when he went to retire, he had some health issues. He was kind of uninsurable. So he thought, well, how do I get insurance and this and that? Well, turns out he only needed a couple of years to get his pension from Cook County. So he went back, got a job in what they call down there their forest preserve. And he did that. And they used to lock up these forest preserves at night. And they could kind of screw around here and there. They were putting, I think it was just Russian ammo. I think Russian Full Metal Jacket, whatever was available back then when they were first coming in. And those rounds are a lot hotter than some of the Makarov you get here. And that thing was going through 55-gallon drums like nothing. And he once got a call of a deer. A buck was tangled in a lady's clothesline. And they tried to free it. They cut the line, and the thing would attack them every time they got close. But one of them distracted it. They cut the deer out of the clothesline, but it was injured so badly it had to be put down. It couldn't continue on its own. And they put it down with the Makarov, and that thing dropped like a stone, man. Makarovs are beautiful. Where else can you find a pistol like a Makarov? All steel, beautiful bluing, pretty, so pretty when they got the big like grips on them and all. Back when they were $200, and that's not too long ago. Now the East Germans have went up a lot, and those, in my opinion, are the best fit, finish, smooth, magnificent guns. If you can find a East German gun, even if you got to pay up a little bit, man, they're so nice. Once in a while, you walk across a Steeler. They were imported by the tons, and tons of guys bought them and just, threw them in a drawer and forgot about them. So you'll see some pop up once in a while, a friend of a friend or something like that. If you can get one, grab it. Then came the Russian ones. There were a lot of commercial versions of that. Where they put adjustable. If it's got adjustable sights, it's a commercial version. Forget it. Although they're nice guns and they're not that much money. But if you can find an original Russian gun that was brought in, cool. And some will say they rival the East Germans. The Bulgarian ones were the last to come in. And there were some that came in pretty good sized batches not all that long ago, 2-3 years ago. And they're really nice too. And I did a video on them. Check it out. They're super nice guns. The Makarov round falls somewhere between a 380 and a 9. It's got some snap to it. The guns are ultra reliable. A lot of guys used them for concealed carry for a long time. You saw a ton of guys with Makarovs as concealed carry guns. The AK guy, Brandon Herrera, he loves Makarovs. He concealed carries one. I'll carry mine from time to time, but again, my OCD kicks in, and I'm afraid of wearing the bluing on them. And I love them for the history and the collectability. Tokarovs, I managed to grab a couple Romanian ones. I ordered one, and it was really nice, and the next one was rusty and shitty, and the next one was nice. I'm going to do a complete do-over on the rusty one. I may blue it, or I may Cerakote it and kind of mess with it a little bit. Kind of rough. You can see where the machining on the sides of the slides not always straight or completely flat, different things. But what a cool round, that Tokarov round, man. An SVT 40 would be super cool, wouldn't it? With that 7.62 by 25 Tokarov round. If you guys have never shot one and you wonder, well, what the hell is that? Or you say, well, it looks like a small round, you know. It is, but it is super fast. That round is zipping, let me tell you. The first thing you'll notice when you shoot a Tokarov, you'll shoot any other pistol, a 9, a 380, a 45, whatever, and it's boom, ting, boom, ting. If you're shooting at steel, the Tokarov, it's boom, ting. I mean, it is so friggin' fast. Some say that the Tokarov can be defeat some body armor. I won't say steel plates, but some Kevlar. They say it's fast enough, small enough. The key to defeating some body armor is a small, fast round, right? It's where the 5.7 comes in, stuff like that. And a lot of it is overhyped. Guys like to tell tales or exaggerate a little bit. But there's been enough reliable sources that it can defeat some body armor. 5.7 can with the right bullet, but that's even tough. But that Tokarov is an interesting round, and shooting that Romanian Tokarov, Russian Tokarov, there's some beautiful Yugoslavian Tokarovs out there. Look on Gunbroker. There's still not a ton of money. The Romanian ones are cheap still. And you can get a nice one, even off Gunbroker. And once in a while, some of the bigger suppliers will come up with a batch. Maybe go check Classic or something. But that's where I got the rusty one. One came nice. The other came shitty. So I thought I'd try once more. And I don't know. I think 4 altogether. My dad has 1 or 2. Gave one to him, and I don't know. Anytime Classic can be crapshoot sometimes. But in shooting it, what did I miss here? I know you got my Segas. I'm going to have to hit you up, man. I am. Well, come hell or high water, me and you'll hook that up, right? Mac 90 with straight cut was my first AK. Awesome gun, man. Mac 90s are nice guns. Especially, well, back when they were cheap, it was a great gun for the money. Now they're expensive. You know, that's the problemo. Let's see, where did I leave off here? There was some comments coming up on the Daewoo. Orion. Hey, Orion, what's going on, man? I hope you're still here. AGK 47. I totally love. Oh, we read the Vepper comment. Daewoo is one of those cool ones that you don't think about too often. Be nice. Kind of hard to find. If they pass the assault weapon ban, I'll max out a 20K credit card I have and go. There's my solution, guys. I'll just go grab a high limit credit card real quick, and I'll go to town. I will. Absolutely. Thank you for that idea. I rarely, if ever, use credit cards, but in that case, I would. That's why it didn't jump on me. Sega 12. Oh, those are banned already. They're banned from import. Okay, because they're Russian, but they're not banned from owning or selling, and that would be the case. Uh, or any copy of it or clone, which there's a ton of them out there. I love coming to AK Night School, number one, Big Bear. Good to have you here, man. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too much tonight, but for once we're on the subject of AKs, which has become kind of rare lately because we get so many questions about other stuff. But when it comes to an AK night like tonight, it's fun, ain't it? It's good getting back, and I talk too much, and I don't get to your comments because I love talking about your comments. Yeah, Joe, great call on the Makarov, man, for pistols. And those, you know what? I don't think those would be one of the few under the ban because those are 8-round mags, so those won't be banned. Glocks will. They'll go away. I have a Zastava mount. I have a primary. Okay, we read the 3x on that. Prism, great scope. We talked about the Bill Springfield. We talked about Dan Dude needing a dong for an RPK. I've got a Wasser 10 side folder. OG, yes, you are. If you got one, you're OG. I want to get just a side folder I like taking my Wasser and switching it up from time to time. I switch out the dong. I go to the palm swell handguard. Sometimes I'll tack it out. I do all kinds of stuff. That's the great thing about a Wasser. Everybody needs a Wasser, even you high-end flexing dudes. You all need a. I think there's only 2 or 3 of us in here maybe could consider being high-end flexing dudes. Of course, none of us are. We take the cheap with the expensive, and we take it. We go off reputation, reliability, history, stuff like that. If I could only get one more before a possible ban, would be a SAM 5. Good choice. I still have yet to figure out the right setup for that, and I'm leaning more and more toward Arsenal's setup that they sell to world militaries, that stock, handguard, etc. And somebody said where I can get a set, but I can't remember where. So if one of you knows where I can get all the right polymer to make it, what is their model number for it instead of SAM 5 for their military version, I would like to. Hattori Hanzo, what's up, man? Just back from Yugoslavia, Serbia, Croatia. He tried to get in the Zastava factory, but their alphabet soup agency over there grabbed him, took him down to the Gulag check-in, and waterboarded him for a few days. Wanted to know what he was doing there. And he said, man, all I want to do is get into Zastava and see if I can get a little swag. And they didn't believe him. They found my email in his phone. And all of a sudden I had weird vehicles going up and down my road and all kinds of craziness going on. Yeah, no, none of that happened. I just made it up on the fly. But he's probably laughing his ass off right now. But he did. He was over in Yugo, and he tried to get over there and get us some cool info and maybe see some stuff or a factory tour or whatever. But no go on that. But it's still cool that he was over there. I wonder what the gun laws are over there. Were there any gun shops, Satori? Anything cool you could go see? Did you, you're walking through a trail behind your aunt's house or something, and you find a pile of bolt hold open mags somewhere. Guys, you want to talk about brutal conflicts? That was one of the worst in the world, and anybody that lived through it or had family members fighting in it will tell you. And they'll tell you, those same people will tell you that a lot of what they hear and see over here is a lot of stuff that they've heard over the years over there before all kinds of stuff went down. MZ Arsenal for sure. I'm not, I look at my collection and I look at the Arsenals And by all rights, I should probably be an Arsenal fanboy, but I'm not. I love them all. But I guess maybe just because so many variants still coming from there and so many great guns, and it allows you to have, and let's face it, early Bulgarian guns were literally made from Russian parts. When Russia started up the factory over there, gave them the data packages and the machinery, and were there advising and getting things up and running. A lot of the first military weapons they produced out of there were all Russian parts. Um, a lot of the kits that have come in, all Russian parts originally. Very, very close guns to Russian guns. Um, Granted, a lot of the stamped guns were made for the commercial market. Um, and, a lot of the guns out there, too, people don't know, were built in Las Vegas. Only the receiver was brought in parts. They were put together here. They weren't true Arsenal guns. They call them Arsenal, but they're fine group, and a lot were put together here. And it's even said that a lot of stamp guns weren't built by them. It was built by another Bulgarian company for them. I don't know how true that is or if it's 100% true. I will tell you this, that some of the Arsenal guns, especially early stuff, the 95 and some other stuff, were put together in Las Vegas on Bulgarian receivers. The milled guns were some of the finest guns that they ever sold. The guys in Las Vegas paid a ton of attention to fit and finish and everything. Those were some of the smoothest, best looking, pretty guns that Arsenal has ever sold. A lot of guys will say better than the stuff coming from the Bulgarian Arsenal. And there's a lot of those older guns around still that came in with thumb holes and all that are still out there, that just changing out the furniture and all, and you've got a gorgeous, gorgeous gun. For a long time, they weren't bringing a lot of money, and you can still find deals on them. But people are kind of knowing what they are now, and well, it's with everything, AK, right? Over the years, it seems like yesterday to me, but God, even this channel now is getting a few years old, and I think back to that. It's been a while. I mean, I started my true, real quest into amassing the collection 17 years ago, 16, 15 years ago. And stuff was dirt cheap, and it seems like yesterday. And, they stayed status quo for a while. The prices really didn't go up. It wasn't until 5, 6 years ago that you really saw the popularity going through the roof and the prices going through the roof. I mean, I'll use the Wasser for an example, because it was always used as the price comparison. Because when prices would go up, guys would go, holy fuck. Oh, sorry. Holy crap. Wassers are $4.99. Are they out of their minds? I wouldn't pay $4.99 for a Wasser. What a joke. And then $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $8.99. And then the craziness hit, and the Wassers were going over $1,000. And even at $7.99, $8.99, you got to be out of your mind, guys were saying, But they held the status quo at that $3.99, $4.99 for the longest time. I remember when I wouldn't buy an AK, no matter what it was, if it was over $500. I don't care if it was Chinese. I don't care if it was a Sega. I don't care if it was Yugo. I don't care. 500? Are you out of your mind? The only gun at that time that really was drawn more money than that was probably the Legends, and maybe some and the Bakelite side folders, stuff like that. But anything else, pretty much, Some of the arsenals then, guys were bitch $8.99 for a stamped arsenal, or even a milled for $8.99. The fixed stocks $7.99, and nobody, guys, no way, no way. And then the folders were like 10.50 or 10.99 for the milled guns, and then 1,200. And but before they started that, they held everything held in there at $4.99. Let's say even the super high end stuff was under $800. And that held there for the longest time. I blame Rob Ski for all of it. All of it. He created this friggin' mess. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Rob did bring a ton of excitement and curiosity to the AK platform. And there are a few other guys out there too. I started this channel, and he was the first one I found. And I watched literally every video he made. And I read every book, and just anything I could get my hands on. And it was a fun thing. I jumped from, I had been into guns all my life, but there was a long hiatus when just other things were more important, different hobbies, whether it was motorcycles or family, buying houses, cars, race cars, shit like that. And guns kind of fell by the wayside. Yeah, I hunted and I did that. But if I wanted to shoot something cool, my dad always had anything, and we'd do range days. It wasn't until I told you guys before, walking through a sporting goods store, I saw a rifle up there for $69. And at $69, I had to go ask what the hell it was. He said, "Oh, this is a Russian Mosin Nagant." What is that? Well, I don't know, but I think it's World War I. And for $69, I said, "Give me two, I got to see what these are." And I started reading, and the whole hobby came back. And I went berserk on those. Why? Because when you got young kids and everything and a family, you don't have a lot of money flowing around. So I bought every variant and everything I could, and learned everything I could about them until I couldn't learn one more thing about them. And then, of course, you get bored and you move on to the next thing. And it was SKSs, and I did that. And then the AK thing happened, and it was off to the races. And, it's just progressed like that. But it seemed like forever things hung in like that. And then all that popularity came, and it went nuts. So it was cool. Tommy says, "Flex, baby." LOL. Oh, Tommy, what are we going to do, man? They don't get it, do they? Some of them. Local shop has been trying to arrange an AK build for months. Has Milsurp Connect. Is bone dry. Might get an M1 Grand with the money I earmarked for the AK build. Get an M1 Grand, Tommy. You got to have one. I keep telling you guys, the prices are going up and they are drying out. There's still some at CMP. Last I checked. Get one. How can you not have one? Come on. Got to get one. That's a rifle that saved the world. Hey, if they ban everything else, maybe that rifle will save the world again. It's perfectly capable of it. If push ever came to shove, we don't need 30 round mags. 30-06 and 8 rounds will do the job just fine, won't it? Yes, sir. You just got to get proficient and fast. That's all. But that's a good way to go, man. Joe Rock, I am the pores, and I'll tell you, as a lifelong gun nut, if you want something and get it in under the wire, find things others haven't got into yet. Yep. Hey, everybody's got their limit, right? And it's never about showing off or upstaging someone. It's what you love and what you can afford. Look at me. I started with $69 guns. Trust me, guys, for some of you that maybe are in a position, new family, maybe your career just hasn't gotten there yet. Maybe something unfortunate happened in your life. Whatever the case may be, it gets better. It'll all come. Don't worry about it. I told my son that all the time. You got to relax, man. It'll all come. Just keep working hard, keep doing the right thing, and it'll come. And one day you'll go, man, I remember when, and it ain't about flexing. If you're one of those flexers, you're not good. That's all I'll say. Surplus pistols right now are relatively overlooked. They are. There's a ton of good stuff out there. But keep in mind, a lot of those surplus pistols are still going to be available. Now, will it drive the prices up? Maybe. So let's keep focused on what's not going to be available if this thing happens. Guys, somebody will accuse me of trying to scare people, this and that. And it's not about scaring somebody. It's about caring enough and being smart enough to know that this is definitely a possibility. It's more than a possibility. So it's not about being scared or scaring anyone. It's about caring enough to do your part in fighting against it and for it, Romanian Pac-9, it's tiny and micro Draco AK-9. Yeah, but there's two of those guns. One is made by Cougar, and one is made by some other Drek factory over there. You definitely want the Cougar version. So make sure you're doing that. And I don't remember if it's I think the Pack is the other one. I don't think it's the Cougar version. I may be wrong. I don't care. I don't have any 9mm AKs or ARs. I just don't care for it. I want guns that were originally in. Okay. The Russians make the 9, but I got Scorpions and dedicated little subguns I like for that. Don't care for it. If I want to shoot an AK or I want to shoot an AR, I want it in a rifle caliber. I don't know. I guess I'd probably buy a KUSA for sure. I'm getting done to probably 80 total. Holy cow, man. People are sleeping on band era DPMS rifles from St. Cloud. Not familiar with those. In 2012, I had 0 guns. You went to town, my man. Look at how certain parties, rank and file, are treating a kid that saved lives. Yeah, that's what I said. It's horrible what they're saying about that. That's crazy. It just goes to show you. It's all about the agenda. They don't care who they hurt, what they say, or how it goes down. They will take the bad side and twist it. What if it was their kid in that mall and he was the next one that was going to walk into his line of fire? What if it was Pelosi's kid that was about to walk into the line of fire and that guy just happened to be there? Wonder what she'd say then. She'd probably covered up that her kid was there and still call him an ass, right? Yeah, it's not about talking politics, Alan. It's about stopping this stuff. Well, my friend, you might not do politics, but politics do you every day. Great way to put it, Sam. It is. It's hard. I try to separate it, and I think you guys know that I've held back a long time. I'll say a thing or two here and there, and then stop it. And then the last 6 months, I've kind of ranted a bit, but it's just because of what they're pushing so hard, guys. That pushes on, and unfortunately, it, like he says, it does us. If you're in this game, if you're in this hobby, you're part of it. And if you want to stay in it and you love it like I do, I love it. We're not the problem. We are not the crazies. We are the protectors. And we're the ones that enjoy this and love the history. We're everything they should want and love. We're the guys that would step up, put our own lives at risk for somebody else. But they hate us for some reason, and that's never going to change. So, although if you're in this, you're in that. And yeah, I get it. Talking about is boring and you feel like you're preaching to the choir or it's old hat or nothing changes. I get it. Unfortunately, it's part of it. If you want your fun to continue, you got to fight it. And not just fun. You want your rights to continue. You want this country to stay how it is, governed the way it is. And by those rules, you have to. So you got to look at it a little different. That's all. Let's see. I'm getting down here. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac screwed my phone. Yeah, a lot of people, man. But it wasn't Fannie and Freddie. It was the other people packaging the stuff. That's what it was. And unscrupulous mortgage brokers telling people they could afford all this stuff when they couldn't. But then again, I think it's still the ones that took the loans partially too, because, hey, come on, it's something you have to have personal responsibility at some point. But it did crash the economy, crash the market, crash the housing bubble, everything. But come on, everybody knew it was coming, man. It's not a hobby, it's my life. You're right. I am the Second Amendment, and lots more feel just the same. You're right, Joe. We all do. We all do. Let's see. I'm trying to get through here. See you, Alan. I'm sorry you had to go, buddy. If they get what they want, we will be England. You'll be worse. This is how Canada did it too, guys. They went after the assault stuff, and then they came after the pistols, and it won't stop. You can't give them 1 inch. You can't. And if they do, if that comes to fruition, you guys all got decisions to make. You got to decide whether you're patriots or whether you're sheep, one of the two. There's also a provision to contact the swamp through at least GOA. Yeah, go to Gun Owners of America's site, and they got a lot of stuff to contact through. Go there, guys. Do it. Please, please, please. As they have form mails, yeah, take 1 minute. It literally does. He's absolutely right. Chase, thanks for coming, man. We've been on 2 hours. Hey, we're not 3 or 4 yet. We're early. If it was Pelosi's kid, they would be the scumbag shooter. If you have a feeling, yeah, you're right. Yeah, get that finished rifle dialed in, Joe. You got to. MZ, I got to hit the sack, work at 3 a.m. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. Man, we had a lot of viewers tonight. I saw a jump over 30. I think I haven't seen that in a long time. I wonder what the deal was. AKs I have to buy, the higher odds they will be Viscas. Wait, the more AKs I have to buy, the higher odds they will be Visca. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Anything but a Visca. Please. Don't do it. Don't do it. Friends don't let friends do it. I always like the 9x39. Yeah, that thing is pretty darn cool. Did you watch my videos on the Krebs 9x39? So badass. One of the coolest guns I've ever shot, ever. Tommy, I'll help you trade out of that Norinco side folder. You know that can never go away. It just can't. I want an AUG in green. I want an AUG too. Say to the bees. Good to see you, man. Rock, always share these on Discord so my friends can pop. Awesome. Thank you. Keep your eyes open for an import always. Squeaky Cooler. Did you just pop in? I didn't see you here. I've been trying to work through these comments for so long. If you just popped in, I think you missed one of the better shows ever. Don't you guys think? I think it was good. I was having a blast. I have a new PRI Mark 12 build that I'm working on, optics and ammo. Damn, son. A little while ago. Well, I hope you caught a lot of it. Essentially, I'll fill you in real cool, and then we'll stop on that, and we'll jump back into some stuff. So this assault weapon ban that's they're coming up. This thing is scary, scary, man. I just got a bad feeling it's going to pass if some of these Republicans do what they did on the red flag. It's a big deal. You really need to. You need to get in and contact your reps and all. And this thing is as close as it's going to come. It might pass, and it's worse than anything we've ever seen. It's worse than California. It's worse than everything. Glocks will be illegal. Just about every shotgun, more than an 870 hunting gun, will be outlawed. It's going to be bad if it happens. I got a scary feeling. Nobody's talking about it. Mainstream media. They're keeping it quiet. They're trying to run this thing through, and it's scary. You need to, if you've ever fought anything, you need go to Gun Owners of America, fill out their forms. It'll take you 1 minute. Watch some of the other videos on it, and go into their description and click on the thing to send letters to your senators. Send it to any of the senators that voted for the red flag laws, mainly Republicans. Send it to them, your people, and send it to every state's Republican that voted for these laws, whether you live there or not. Tell them you live there. Do whatever it takes. Would you lose your nuts there? What happened? I honestly think that the next big import target is either Brazil or Turkey. Loads of good, cheap, nice guns. Yeah. Turkish guns and ammo will absolutely be banned. Yep. Absolutely will be. So there's some good guns coming out of there. Get yourself a VR80. That's a great gun, and there's going to be guys scrambling for those things because they're big and 3-gun, and they're quality. They're nice guns. Grab one. They're cheap, $5.99. You can find them for, and they're great guns. VR80, not the 60, the 80. Good stuff. Could all go away, guys, in a couple of short weeks. I am not kidding you. This is the worst we've ever seen, so make sure you jump in. All right, so we talked about what would you buy if this ban's coming and you got to get something in under the ban, an assault rifle, something they're going to ban, something over 10 rounds, something with a removable mag, whether it's pistol or rifle or shotgun. What would you grab? You only got enough money and time to grab one. What would you buy? God, there's so many. I want some Polish guns. I want an AUG. I'd like another Tavor. I'd like another HK rifle. Couple Yugos in there. I'd like a Beretta M4. So many things. Even the Democrats, as some of them don't want to vote on it as they are vulnerable. The problem is you've got a lot of Republicans that are retiring that will vote for it because they don't have to worry about it. That's the thing. Lay some guilt complex on them. Hey, do you live the Constitution? Are you going to live up to the oaths you swore? Jared does a good job with that. when he talks to maybe law enforcement officers that are watching his channel or ATF officers that are watching his channel, different things like that. Hey, okay, you're just following orders, this and that. All right, what about that oath you took? A lot of them are ex-military. What about that oath you took? You swore that oath to protect and defend the Constitution. The Constitution is the Constitution, and sometimes it's not what the law says. There's tons of laws out there that are unconstitutional, and you need to defend that. Everybody knows what's constitutional and what's not. Pretty much on the surface, it's there as written, and it's there. This is okay. I'll tell you what a lot of it is. Not that it's not their agenda, period, but a lot of it might be payback for Roe versus Wade, right? For the reversal on that. Joe says, if I could have one right now, say I found $1,000 in a drawer, blah, 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 blah. It's between a 5.56 AK like the Zastava or a Korean War era M1 carbine with all the cool stuff on it. So why a Korean and not a World War II version? Just curious. I think I know the answer already, but if money were no issue, I'm going full auto underfolder. Registered, obviously. What's funny is 3 days ago, we were talking about the NFA falling, going away. And now we're talking about having to fight an unconstitutional assault weapon ban that now, after this latest decision, has no right being brought, doesn't even stand. But we'll fight it 10 years just to get it gone, even though it's unconstitutional. Well, how's that for a turnaround, huh? Talking about the NFA going away, and it's got a good possibility of going away. But that'll screw that up too then, and some cases out there. You know what is amazing? The NFA could fall all through a channel from a young guy that was a no-name a year and a half ago out of Wisconsin. And that's, I can't remember his name. Hoover's his last name. But look, connection unstable. Certain things you bring up and things get unstable all of a sudden. I don't know if that's YouTube's doing or just coincidence, but it seems awfully coincidental, and I don't believe in coincidence. Anyhow, this kid gets busted in this auto key card thing, right? He's promoting it. They advertise his on his channel, and I'm probably bad connection for a lot of you guys right now. I don't know. Funny. Go all this way and now it gets crappy. Anyhow, what the hell's the name of his channel? Can't even remember right now. You guys, somebody will know who I'm talking about here, but Matt Hoover, yeah. I don't think and I'm not putting hard. He's doing the right thing and he's having fun and he's finding ways to support his family. So who can make fun of that? But he's just, he pronounces things wrong from time to time. His grammar's not that great. He's just an everyday Joe, drives a truck. I think he works, maybe drives a truck for the post office. He's an independent contractor. He starts a YouTube channel. He's an FFL. They own a resale shop in a small town in Wisconsin, and they start up an FFL mostly with the family's own guns, and they get it going. It's going pretty good, and he actually gets his class 3 and all that. And as part of the YouTube channel, he's advertising this thing called the auto key card. It's a little piece of sheet metal with drawn on it or etched on it is the outline to make a what the hell do you a lightning link or one of those things, so somebody could potentially cut it out, bend it the right way, put it in their gun, make a full auto gun. But it's not even like the ones you used to see in the old days where it was either an actual one or it was kind of pre-cut. You just had to snip it and bend it and whatever. Used to see them at gun shows and stuff. This was just a drawing on it. It was like as a novelty, supposedly. But it wasn't his company. He simply advertised. I guess he took money from them advertising for it, but he wasn't selling them. He was nothing. They arrested him for selling a machine gun or promoting a machine gun or conspiracy or whatever. And his attorneys, and I'm sure he's pretty slick when it comes to some stuff, but he was poking the bear constantly, and I'm pretty sure that's why they went after him. But his attorneys, and I'm sure he's got help from the outside, whether some of the organizations, but a lot of people came to his rescue through these different funds. GoFundMe kind of screwed him and held the money, wouldn't give it to him, and then wouldn't give it to him, had to put it in trust and only go for legal fees, but he had paid legal fees out of other money already, so the money's kind of useless. But whoever, if it was his attorneys, that I forget where he found them or who got them for him, what agency, whatever organization, but they're pretty slick. And they're pushing the fact that the NFA is unconstitutional, and because of that, he should be found not guilty. So this thing's going to go all the way, unless they drop it, that they're going to have to make a ruling on the NFA. And with this new ruling 2 weeks ago, it all came out after that ruling 2 weeks ago, the Bruin ruling. And everybody says lock, stock, and barrel, that thing's going to fall, man, on this case. So 2 weeks ago, people are like cheering, like, this is going away, period. All because of this no-name kid in Wisconsin that unbelievable, man. This kid will go down in history if this happens. I mean, he'll be a national hero in the gun community, literally. And now they put this assault weapon ban out there, and it's way more than assault weapon bans, guys. It's everything. Read it. Go watch Jared's video. Check it out. You'll be floored. There's more than that. Watch some of the other ones where they actually go through and tell you what'll be left. There's nothing left. Yeah, they say they'll be grandfathered, but then they all have to be then sold through FFL or transferred through an FFL, like the family members or whatever. And then they got a record of them all, and then they'll call it. Yeah, it's all going away. It's the final foot to drop. And yeah, like I said, you can fight it, but it'll be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe never. Easier to fight it now. Fight it now, please. And I want you all to come back next week and tell me what you did. And it better not be one letter or one email. It better be 10 or 15 or 20. Take an hour of your day. Be a little tired for work tomorrow. Stay up and do them. Do whatever it takes. But it's that trust, guys. If you in a little bit think I'm an honest, straight shooter and tell you what I truly feel, and to the best of my knowledge, trust me when I tell you, this is the scariest, closest thing we will come in years and years, decades, to this actually happening. And if you don't think it can happen, it can. So please, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you, you have to take it seriously. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Squeaky. Was at my local gun shop over the weekend, and they had a new old stock Wasser with an old Romanian 75 round drum. Good price, so I found it. awesome, dude. That sounds so cool. I love when you walk in and there's something like that and it kind of shocks you, right? You're like, what do they got? Oh, oh, look at that. Is that, oh my God, look at, gee, 6.99. Hell yeah, and it makes your day, right? And it may not be like coming across a Vepper for 1,200 bucks, but how cool is that? Is it a top loading drum or a back loading drum? Um, Either way, cool. And either way, the backloader will say on the key, made in Romania. Those weren't made in Romania. They were made in China. That was the whole nother thing. Guys got busted for that. That's how they got around importing a bunch of them from China. They stamped them Romania, but they were made in China. And I think the ATF brought a case and locked them up over that too. Very straight to no canted sights. Awesome. So it's one from back in the day, huh? Because Joe would get that because he'd dress it up like an M2 carbine. Cool. What makes I don't know a ton about them, but what makes it look like an M2? Aren't they the same gun really? Other than I would think a switch. I think Misha actually did his to look like one, and as far as I know, all he did was take I guess an actual switch and somehow either maybe tack welded it or made something to mount it in the wood or something. So it looks like it has a switch, but it's a phony. That would be cool. If that's, I don't know if anything else on one makes it. Is there any difference in how they look other than that? I don't know. I just think those guns are so cool. They're so much, what a cool caliber. It'd be cool to have a handgun in 30 carbine and an M1 and just have a blast. What a cool cartridge. Somewhere along the lines of like 357. The ultimate pistol caliber carbine, I guess, kind of, right? Uh, so it's got, let's see, did it have military wood, you said? Oh, new old stock Wasser with an old Romanian 75 round drum. Good price. Did it have wood on it, like original Romanian wood, or did it have the balsa wood and all? I'd like to know. Let's see. I think it'd be cool to have a Winchester 1907 semi-auto with a detachable magazine, way ahead of its time. Yep, that would be awesome too. If you think about it, M1 carbine was America's first ever black rifle. Yes, you are. Well, no, yeah, I get it. It's semi. But I always say, whenever I pick up lever action, I say the world's first assault weapon, a lever action, right? Because you could really pound some out with a lever action. Very, very cool. The next Crossroads of the West show out here going to be nuts after the band passes the House. Yeah, right? This is so bad. It's going to pass the House, guys. It's going to. It's going to come down to whether or not one or two Republicans vote with them. That's how close it is. Does that scare you enough? I hope so. I think it would be cool. Let's see. Howdy, Chris. Hope you're good, bro. Grab me a Norinco SKS. I'm good, man. Good to see you. So your Norinco SKS, I'm sure, has blonde wood like mine. If you haven't seen the video where I do the Yugo, the Chinese, and the Russian, you got to check it out. All three are so cool. The Yugo with that beech wood, just cool, and the grenade launcher and the grenade sight, but a long gun because of that, because of the spigot on the end. And then the Russian with that Arctic birch and actual deep red shellac on it. One of those guns that from Tula, where the whole thing with the red shellac. Russian guns, for the most part, weren't that deep red like everybody thinks. But there was a time period um, where guns coming out of Tula, even some Mosins and definitely the SKSs and some earlier, not early, but just after early, I guess, AKs, they say that the red came from them using creosote from some of the furnaces in the factory because they were burning pine. That's what was available there in those forests. And it had that red creosote and it added to the color of the shellac. And I believe it 100%. When you look at that SKS in the video, it's so gorgeous. And check out my Instagram. I got a picture of that SKS on there where just the way the photo came out, the flash, everything, you really see this tiger striping in that Arctic birch and that red color. And it's incredible. It's a work of art. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I should do a video on just that gun because it's that pretty. Really cool. But I hope I started to say, so the Yugo's so cool with the oiled beach, I guess. Yeah. And then the Arctic birch on the Russian, and then that super light blonde wood that we so associate with the Chinese guns. Just looks so cool on there. And those are great guns. And a lot of those guns came out, they were brand new unfired. Mine was, I mean, I fired it, but they're just nice guns. And if you haven't shot it yet, notice when you're shooting it compared to an AK, just how mechanical it is. And a lot of it's because of the bolt and the carrier and everything. But it's just seems so much more mechanical feeling and sounding than an AK. You get the boom, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. It's got this locomotive thing to it. And it's just very, very cool. They're fun to shoot and pretty accurate, very accurate. And you can be fast with them with strippers. Strippers. Get yourself some stripper clips and have fun. Kind of compete with yourself with it, with loading them. It's really fun. I've been filling out forms every day, sharing them online groups to even awesome, dude. Joe, I know we can always count on you, man. Keep up the good fight, my brother. I've been signing petitions every day, sharing with everyone. Everyone's stressing all to get involved as well. Good. I'm glad to hear others are. The ones in my circle are not getting involved. And it just, part of it is my fault because I guess I'm so involved. They hear it so much from me that they tend to hear way too often that the sky's falling. And it is, frankly, any one of these things can hurt. And there's this constant fight, this constant barrage. And because I'm on top of so much of it, they hear it constantly and constantly. And they think, well, it's just another, I'll get the next one. Well, that's not the case. And it's just been getting so tough lately, and they've all been so important. And we've made such big grounds and pickups, and they hear about that and they think everything's safe. But this could, I don't think it'll stand. It'll go through court and it won't, but it's the time it'll take. It's the time. And then God only knows what happens, and maybe it never goes away because the unthinkable happens somewhere. Who knows? Or you get, it's all a roll of the dice, Old Romanian wood. Cool, Squeak. That's awesome. I'm glad you got that. That's such a cool find. What about the drum? What'd you say on that? Was it a top loader or a back loader? But here's the key to getting family and sort of conservative, patriotic people that understand liberty, the Second Amendment, and all of that, but maybe aren't as into the hobby as we are, is share key videos. For sure, Jared's from Guns and Gadgets and a couple others. Arm Scholar is pretty good. There's a lot of them out there. Look for some of the shorter ones so they won't blow them off and not listen to them. But share them where you share other information with the non sort of gun people in your group. Share them on Facebook and other sites like that. If you know they're pretty sound people, maybe share them directly with them. Maybe text them to them. Send out a mass text and get them and say, please contact your senators. If you know they're in those states, all the better. Guys, and please don't relegate it just to the ones in your state. Go after those Republicans that voted on the red flag. Look up a video real quick. So they've all got it that listed the Republicans that voted for it, and go. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Kinzinger in Illinois. Adam Kinzinger, that's his name. And there's one in Florida. There may even be one in Texas. Trying to think of the other ones off the top of my head. But let them know. Tell them you live there and you will vote them out. And these ones that are retiring are the scary thing. They can vote and there's no consequences. They don't care. They may already have the vote. That's why they're running it through. Who knows? Who knows, guys? I don't know. Basically, the handguard, the 30-round mag, and the bayonet lug, I think. Well, the handguard is no different, I don't think. 30-round mags, you can, everybody that's got a carbine's got 30-round mags, and they all had bayonet lugs put on them after World War II sometime, I believe. So I don't know that there's that big a difference. Some were stamped M2, and there's some guns stamped M2 that are actually M1s now. But most, at least, I want to say half maybe or more, were converted in theater. They sent the kits over to convert them, and they were done out in the field, I think, or at least at like unit armors or that kind of thing during the end of the war, World War II. So a ton of them were M1s that became M2s. I don't know that any actual I'm trying to think now. I used to know all this stuff. I don't know that any actual M2s ever made it to two units during World War II. I think it was anything that was used in World War II as an M2 was converted over there in Europe during the war with kits that were sent. Kinzinger is not running for re-election. See? So you know goddamn well he's a yes vote. He's a yes vote. I guarantee you. Guarantee you. I only know him because when I lived down there, he was a Republican, and you found out real quick he's not. He is a full-on Democrat. So I'll mark my words, guys. Mark my words. He is a yes vote on the assault weapon ban. Mark my words. Guarantee you. He's got to have something at stake in this, even retiring. Maybe somebody near and dear to him that's running for office somewhere, something he can hold over his head. I don't know. Got to come up with something. Orion, you know that area now. Let us know, because we need something to switch him over. Something that means something. Because if he's retiring, it doesn't matter. Promise you he will be a yes vote. Promise you. Doesn't appear gun was ever shot either. There's absolutely no, most of those A ton of those Norinco SKSs that came over, they were brand new guns. In Pennsylvania, Toomey is not running again. I don't feel comfortable with that piece. No, he'll vote too. You watch any of those retiring. So there's got to be something, right? Got to be something that you can convince them it just isn't worth them voting for it. Maybe you, and who knows if they even read them. Maybe they do. Maybe you get the one lucky letter he reads and you lay it on them about, constitutional and patriotism and all that stuff. Whatever it is. Makes sense. Be polite. Don't be rude, because those don't get read. Those don't do anything. They hurt you. Be concise, be clear. But for those that are wanting to stay in office, be absolutely clear that you will vote them out no matter what the choice. That anything in your book is better than that. They probably have him in Hunter's contacts. Yeah. Tell him, I got that video, and if you do it, I believe that would be called blackmail, so you can't do that. That's against the law. But he best stay out of dark alleys. Yeah, guys, all I can tell you is maybe you work on some Democrats. There's some Democrats that may not go for something this all-encompassing. Who knows? So your states better than any. If you have some on the edge that maybe it's worth a shot, send the letters, man. Send them. Make the phone calls. Phone calls are, you bug a receptionist enough or whatever, they tell them, oh my God, you won't believe the people calling on this. That word gets there. It's what has changed everything. So make sure you're doing it. It's worth it, guys. It's well worth it. We get past this one. Things are pretty darn good. We need to get past this, and I think we are got a world of good coming. A world of good. We got November right around the corner, and then a couple of short years, and we did it. But you got to put in the work, please. And it can't just be you. Get your family involved. Get your friends involved. Get others that you know involved. I'm sorry this crammed down into a political thing, but it's these next few days, week, that is going to make or break this whole thing. And I want to be here for many years to come until you guys are telling me, God, he's lost it. He can't even read his teleprompter anymore. Yeah, if I used a teleprompter, these would be a lot shorter videos, let me tell you. Hey, it was so much fun talking about AKs tonight and getting back into it. Watch for my video on the Arsenal SLR 107 FR triangle stock. Such a fun gun. I told you guys earlier that was bone stock. I put an ALG in that thing, and you will see some of my finer trigger skills. Pretty goddamn fast, if I say so myself. I think you'll be impressed. Yeah. Getting back like the old days, man. Laying down some lead. But yeah, you'll like that video. And the Mosin Nagant one, you guys are going to love that. Love it. It's cool. So, and we're going to have a bunch more of those coming. Got to tell the history as you lead up to what we love here, right? AKs, SKSs are cool and all that good stuff. Hey, guys, remember you can support the channel with going down just below the comments there, that $sign. It really helps the channel. Literally, we get nothing. There's nothing coming from YouTube, zero. Amazingly enough, all this work, all this effort, all this time, and nothing. So any little bit helps. Those super chats are literally all that's coming. But we appreciate it all. I got to get these t-shirts going and some other stuff, some way to give back to you guys and have you get something for your money. other than me blabbing to you. Um, did I tell you? Oh, I told you I was going to get the boat last week, right? So I'll finish with this because I just my all my main peeps are in here right now, so I won't bore any newbies out there. But uh, got the boat, took it out, was running like crap. Uh, Took it to the dealer. They didn't get it ready in time, so um, they finally had it for me middle of last week. I picked it up, took it home, dropped it in the lake, and went for a rip. And if any of you boat, you know that the speedometers on the dash are notoriously inaccurate. Some are okay, but all it takes is a little thing to plug that line and it's all over, or partially plug it. This one's sort of accurate, probably within 5 miles an hour. But the true way to get a speed nowadays is through your fish finder / navigation / do everything. I mean, chart your chart plotter, got a Garmin ultra high definition. I can tell what kind of fish it is on the sonar. I can tell if it's a muskie or a walleye or a bluegill. It's unbelievable. But you get your speed off of satellites. So before, I thought it was running great when I first got it, and it didn't screw up till later. And I thought, man, how fast this and that. Well, let me tell you something. It wasn't running right from the get-go because holy cow, I dropped this thing in, I warmed it up a little bit, and then I trimmed it all the way down and I hammered it, and this boat came out and leapt out. Like, I think it literally completely cleared the water, sat, and went. And this is a bigger boat. This is a 21, almost 22, it's 21 foot, 6 inches, something like that. And I want to say it weighs, with the motor and all, 3,000 pounds maybe. You see these bass boats that are doing 70, 75 with 200 horse motors. Well, those are 16 foot, 18 foot boats that weigh next to nothing, super flat. This is a Ranger, so it's bass boat heritage, but it's a deeper V, more like a walleye boat. It's got a full windshield, which creates a ton of drag. It weighs a lot. The deep V, granted, got a 250 horse on there, Verado. But that deeper V, the windshield, and the weight, I would have been happy in the 40s. Well, holy crap, this thing took off, and I think I was talking about, it just didn't seem like I could get the trim right. It was either too much, too little, whatever. Well, I whacked this thing and got up going, and I just kept trimming up, no cavitation, no sucking air. And all of a sudden, I'm way the hell up in it, like it should be, like most bass boats are. Now, you can't quite trim it like a bass boat, but it's still up there. And all of a sudden, you feel this. You feel like the best way I can describe it is like the propeller or the engine is balancing on a beach ball, okay? Like this. Like, you just start to you see the deck of the boat start doing this. And what you got to learn is small inputs, and you just kind of counter it just before, so it stays like this. There's none of this. It's like when you're driving down a highway and you got little inputs. You're like that. And you just feel wide open, trimmed all the way up perfect. You feel like your prop, like you've got this big counterweight out here, 20 feet, and everything's balanced on the prop on a beach ball right here. And what happens is you get the most speed out of that. What's dangerous is if you got a big gust of wind under it, it could throw you sideways or over. And you have very little steering. You're not the best control, let's just say. And as you let's say you come toward the end of the lake and you don't know how these boats react or whatnot, you can start to turn, and a novice may go, oh, crap, it ain't turning like it should. I'm turning and it's turning, but it ain't turning, and I'm running out of lake, or there's an island, or there's whatever. and they freak out. So there's turning, and it's just not turning like it should. So now they grab the throttle and they either start to back down or they hit the trim down. But yet they got the wheel cranked all the way over. And when they drop that trim and that boat just drops a little and catches the stakes under, and that boat turns, well, it doesn't just turn, it goes boom, and you're dead at 80 miles an hour. That fast. So what you got to know is that when you're up on that beach ball, just hit the brakes. I had a buddy that worked at a rental joint, and he'd always ask, "You've driven a boat before, right?" They're renting boats, Oh yeah. And they'd go through everything, and then sit down the driver's seat, and they're about to cast them off, and they'd say, "Hey, by the way, where's the brakes?" He'd either grab them by the collar or get out. Well, what? We're getting you a captain. You are no longer driving this boat. Literally that would happen. Oh yeah, I know all about it. So some of you guys that maybe never exposed to boats, there are no brakes. But anyways, so I could feel it's up that way, and it'll start to turn, but it won't carve. You don't have boat in the water to carve it, to grab the water. So before you keep cranking, you kind of hang there and just touch that trim down, boop, boop, and wham. I mean, it just like shoulder in the water kind of stuff, Anyhow, 59 miles an hour on that big boat. I bet, and that was with a full tank of fuel, and which is 40 gallons, and going into the wind. So I'm sure the boat's just over 60, 61, 62, and that's with a 4-blade prop. And it's propped to come out of the hole hard for skiing and stuff. With the right prop, 3-blade. Some guys say tops on that boat is like where I'm at now, but that depends on their engine or this, that, the other. But the way this thing's set up, I think if I bought a spare prop, I'd get a little different pitch and a 3-blade, and it may not come out of the hole as quick, but I'll bet I might get 65 out of this, and that is fast on a boat of that size. It's trust me, when you're skiing or tubing behind a boat, 30 feels fast. 35, everyone's going, stop, and in the boat, it just feels so great. But with a little chop out there, it can get crazy real fast. Remember, no bananas in a boat ever. Also, I never heard about that. Bad luck? Really? What about the bananas that you ride on behind the boat, like a tube, those banana things? What about those? Those bad luck too? Kids want me to get them one of those. Anyhow, and we christened the boat with its first walleye. So that's cool. And took a guy to the range the other day. If guys, my one buddy in the video, Scrodlip, we refer to him as. A buddy of his came out to the range. I won't say new to guns, but getting new to like ARs and stuff, and really enjoying the hobby and everything. And took him out. He got to sight in a couple of his guns and gave him some tips. And I don't want to make him sound like he's a newbie because he knows a lot, but he had a great time, I think. And hopefully he goes further with it and enjoys it. And it turns out what he does for a living is he's a professional muskie guide. And this guy's got some big fish under his belt, and not onesie twosies either. A lot of them, and his clients do as well, that he put them on. And they fish a lot of big water, so I'm hoping to get out with him later this fall, maybe, maybe Green Bay or something like that, for walleyes for that matter too. So there might be some cool videos coming up there. I thought about filming some of the fishing, but I don't know if you guys want to see it on this channel. Thought maybe to start another channel. Geez. Maybe I'll just throw some videos out here and there. I'm still going to throw one up of the end of the fight I had with the Marlin in Cabo San Lucas. I won't bore you with the whole damn fight because it'll bore the hell out of you. Ooh, lost my light. What the hell happened there? Maybe I finally gave up the ghost, my LED light. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. You can see more of the red, huh? Anyhow, if you guys want to see some of that, let me know, and we'll go from there. We're reloading some new cartridges for the Scrod Lip. He's got some precision rifles built by his uncle, who's no longer with us, but was an engineer and built some incredible barrels and rifles. One of them on a 1903 Springfield with a stainless barrel that's that big around. And that gun shoots, what does that gun shoot? Is that 30-06, that gun? He's got 30-06, a 257 Roberts. He had a Remington 35 lever action. It's kind of a mid-size cartridge, not a 35 Remington Magnum, just a 35 Remington. Kind of looks almost like a 7.62 by 39. It's a cool gun. It packs a lot of wallop. Looking, you can get the thing up to like 2,500 feet per second. Better ballistics than the 30-30, and a 200 grain bullet trucking out at 2,500 feet per second in a lever action. It's got some kick to it, boy, let me tell you. But what a great brush gun. And his uncle had all the dies for all these rifles. He gave them to me. I'm going to reload some stuff for him for that Precision 06 for the 257 Roberts. There's also something Mannlicher, something or other, and 243 as well. He's got a nice Winchester bolt action deer gun. Gorgeous. I'd love to have that Winchester. It's really nice. Lightweight or ultralight, I don't know, but a good Winchester from back in the day. Just some cool cartridges we're getting into and have a little fun with that. I'm going to break some RPKs out, another shotgun video. I also want to do a video on the Gallery Gun 22, the Rossi. It's got the slam fire, you know. And I brought you the a video on those family heirlooms from my father-in-law, but never shot them. And I restored that one with all the parts and everything. That gun that's now on the 4th or 5th generation of us men. And it's a breakdown Winchester. Pretty cool little rifle. Love to bring you guys one on that. And then I think we'll do one on the Golden Boy Henry and the 45 Colt Henry. Some shooting videos. We did the one hunting on the 45 Colt, but never showed you any videos. So a lot of cool stuff coming. And keep the AK stuff coming too. We're going to be rehashing a lot of AK stuff, but we're going to have some fun with it. Want to get some Vepper videos going. That's always fun. Whatever I feel like taking the range that day, that's what we're going to do. You're going to see a lot of range videos and just some shooting, seeing what these guns can do, how accurate they are, how maneuverable they are, drills with them, stuff like that. Maybe some cleaning videos, because God knows we need to do a bunch of that. SKS, some more Mosin Nagant stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Maybe bring you a trap shooting video. I don't know. More Grand. I loaded a bunch of 30-06 the other day. I want to get some more Grand videos going. Gonna do a lot more shooting prone, and I think we're gonna do the Savage 308 precision rifle. Gonna do some stuff with that if we can get out to some longer ranges, like 400 or 500. See what we can do there. The German Mauser K98. Loaded up some stuff for that. My son's K98. Gonna get that out and have some fun with it. He always shot it. I shot it 1 or 2 rounds here and there, but yeah, it's his birthday's coming up a couple days. And we had a memorial celebration here at the house the other day, bonfire for his friends and all. And some people came, not as many as I thought would come, but it's, memories fade fast, but it was fun nonetheless. We did some fireworks, and the important people were there. His good friends were there, and his girlfriend came, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good night, and remembered him, and it was fun. It wasn't a bad night at all. Yeah, a little sad maybe, but just as happy thinking about him. And it's the greatest thing to have his friends come over and tell me the stories and how much fun and laughing, and just to think how much fun he had with them and how much fun they had with him, and to hear the stories, the usual craziness that all of us have stories to tell like that. And a few, I thought I had heard them all, but I heard a few more I had never heard that if he was still with us, I probably still wouldn't have heard him. But yeah, Mustang of mine, he put in a ditch and some other good stuff. How he did it without putting a scratch on it's beyond me. But yeah, some good stuff. So it was a lot of fun, Yeah, maybe for his birthday, we'll take a few of his stuff out. If you saw any guns in that video you'd like me to do a little more on, let me know, and we'll get them out there. But tons of fun, and yeah, we're gonna get out and do it. It's good. It's been a good summer so far. Hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully it cools off a little bit, and hopefully I got enough time between now and this wedding I got coming up. And after the wedding, it's home free. We are going to have a great fall and winter. Let me tell you, you're going to see so much cool stuff. And then we'll be able to bring you a lot more stuff, because I won't be paying for this crazy wedding. But thanks, guys. I know only the core guys are sticking around here. I thank y'all. Thanks for coming. Who's here? Squeak, Orion, Joe, I'm sure is here. There's Joe. We'll go back a little bit. You know who y'all are. Tommy, and I see a new guy, Ross 77. I think it would be cool to have he said this 1907 semi-auto. That is a cool gun, man. Gabriel Budish is here. All you guys, man. If I don't mention you, know I go back. Hattori. I go back. I read them all. I care about your comments. Hey, dig into some old videos of ours. When you're bored, go back in and like throwing a dart, you're closing your eyes and throwing a dart. Pick one, watch it. And if you see anything cool you like and you want to see more of, just ask, man, and we will get it. Leave a comment. Hey, Chris, do some more, and we'll do it. All right. Thanks as usual. 3 hours on the head. That's a long one. Real quick, if any of you saw the one from the Rock Ram, let me know how that looked, how it sounded, if it was good, if it was cutting out at all, because my life a lot easier using that. If it worked out okay, and it was pretty good. If it was crap, I won't do it anymore, but let me know. And we'll maybe do some more. How about shooting the grenades out of the Yugo SKS and AK? I had a set of them, and I haven't seen them in forever. Maybe I got to order some up if I can't find them. And yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Light went out and you got an instant tan. I'm that probably wasn't doing it justice. I am tanner than I have been in years. I mean, here, look at it's a boat, you know. But yeah, I'm black, and it started out with the marlin fishing trip down in Cabo, and yeah, I'm pretty dark in reality. This is doing it. I'm looking at myself here. It's doing it no justice. I'm way darker. And my gray is getting whiter, let me tell you, from the sun. And so even some of the blondes coming out. But yeah, I look like one of those old fat dudes on the boat. I just need the 25-year-olds in the bikinis, right? The rent-a-chicks. You always see those guys. They're like 60s, beer guts out to here, and they got 2 or 3 hot little 25-year-old chickies, and you wonder, how does that work? Well, I think we all know how it works, but yeah. I got no such luck like that, though. I don't know. Maybe I got to get a rope chain with a propeller on it, or a rope chain with an anchor on it. That's yep, that's the key. That's how they do it. It's the rope chain with the anchor on it. They all have it. It's obligatory when you got the big boat, you know, out there, and the chickies. It's the rope chain and the anchor. I wonder what works better, the anchor or the propeller. I'm kind of thinking the propeller, maybe a little more modern, speedboatish, you know. Yeah, maybe I'll go get one, see how that works. Next thing you know, we'll have be a boating channel with little hot chickies with thongs on, you know. Yeah. Blonde, be bald. Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta be bald too. Yeah. You got I mean, the big guys with the guts out to here got to be bald or have the wraparound, or like maybe even a bad toupee, the rope chain, super black tan, mega expensive boat that they're mortgaged to the hilt on for like 20 years. But man, they got the 25-year-old rent-a-chickies out there. Yep, with more silicone than a WD-40 factory. Yep. Anyhow, thanks, guys. Thanks for everything. Let me know about the RAM thing in here if it worked out good, that video. I'll go back and watch it, but it always seems I get a truer view of it when you guys tell me how it looked. So anyhow, don't know about others, but I think fishing videos would be excellent. Yeah, it won't be a lot of them. I don't even know how I'd film it while I'm fishing. Jesus. If I could do maybe I got to get a GoPro or something like that with a chest mount or something. I don't know. How about shooting the grenade? Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Anywho, that's what we'll do, guys. So, hey, we're going to have a great rest of the summer. And like I said, fall and winter. I like fall and winter because I hate shooting in the heat, man. God. But it's going to be a ton of fun. So hang in there, and we will go from there. Probably a coffee can full of cocaine in the galley. That helps too. Always helps. At least it did in the 80s. I don't know. I don't know about now. No, did I say that? I didn't say that. Anyhow, I got to run, guys. Thanks for everything. I appreciate everything you do, and I certainly appreciate you guys coming and hang out with us. Remember, go to work, guys. We got a couple days here. Lock it in. So please, please, please do it. I'm begging you. I love this too much to give it up to a bunch of drives me bananas. Have a good one, guys. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out. Coffee can full of cocaine. That made my night. That's hilarious. Thanks, guys. Bye.